Hello, I think we're live. I hit the button
Hello.
twice for some reason. Anyway,
Says on air.
hello everyone in the chat. I know some of you said can't come tonight because we're talking about a movie you didn't get a chance to see. Well, the good news is you probably won't be able to see it in another week because it's going to leave the theaters because it's a complete flop. However, we are going to do a spoiler-free review for the first, certain amount of time. I'll tell you, there's not really, honestly, to give you the heads up. There's not a ton to spoil here. There's not like a huge surprise at the center of this movie. But we'll avoid talking about the ending, I guess, until the later part of the show.
Till the end of the show.
Yes,
Yeah.
Exactly. And we'll try to keep
Or
it,
end
not
credits.
17 hours tonight, just because. Victor's like, yeah. But anyway, I have with me.
Hey, it's cool for me. I'm on the West Coast, so you can go as
Oh,
late
that's
as you want.
true. Really
Nice and early.
I also don't have to work anymore because I'm a high school teacher and I'm out of work for the summer.
Ooh.
It's a
So
school.
there you go. But anyway, we do have shit to do. We'll start trying to keep it. Can't talk about this for too many hours, I would imagine. But anyway, the first thing so I have here with me Victor from the Gen XPerience, which is a great channel, big
Cool.
fan.
It's like
had
the
him on
Brady
a
Bunch
couple
here.
times.
Yeah.
Really good stuff, really fun. And I knew Victor is a huge He-Man fan.
Big, major.
Yes, and in
favorite.
fact, you like He-Man more than G.I. Joe, right? You're more
I do. Yeah, I'd say it goes He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformer. So yeah, it's absolutely the top three. So, but he's number one.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, and then of course we have the rest of us are the opposite. I think we're G.I.
Yeah.
Joe, then He-Man in some order. I'm like He-Man. I'm like G.I. Joe, Mask, which puts me in a very odd category of there's four people who like Mask as much as more than
Mask.
anything. I love Mask. You like Mask too, yeah.
I
But
like
it's
Mask.
me, it's like
I
Love
actually,
Mask.
we don't mention it that
No.
much, but Mask, the cartoon was sort of elusive, meaning like I didn't get to see it that often, which made it
yeah.
that much more cool.
Yeah.
But with the way that I looked at Mask I was like, this is like G.I. Joe
Mhm.
with the cool parts of Transformers mixed in, where it's
Yeah.
not a true Transformers G.I. Joe collaboration as much as just no. I love those. The only thing is if I remember correctly, they were pricey, and I don't think I got them because they were a little expensive. I
The big
love Mask.
vehicle.
I thought it was
I
awesome.
feel like they were. I feel like Transformers was the most expensive.
That's
Transformers were, but when you look at the figure, which was $2, $2.50, and then the vehicle, which was like $7 to $10, most parents went, well, I'm going to get you the figure or get you a couple figures instead
Mask
of the one.
mostly came with vehicles though, and they could be the big vehicle
Right.
like Rhino, or they
Right.
could be Condor, which I got the small vehicles.
Yeah,
Which
I
even
had-
Rhino was only like.
Did you have 11
$20
brothers and
at the
sisters or
most.
something like that? there?
Yes, that's right.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
Rhino, wasn't bad, and the characters are only 2.5 inches tall. So
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they are a little shorter too. No, I had Condor as well. It most likely came down to do you want the Mask thing or do you want the Joe thing? And I probably just went with
went
the
to
Joe
Joe.
thing.
Yeah.
But no, I love Mask. I think it's awesome.
But I would say, yeah. So for me, it was He-Man would be like third place, though,
Yeah.
pretty solidly, and then fourth place would be like a mix of Cops, Transformer. Transformers were too rich for my blood. I just could never. I loved
Silverhawks.
them, but they were so expensive. So I just
I
never.
love Silverhawks too.
Silverhawks.
Like
Silverhawks,
it was-
yeah.
Yeah. Silverhawks were awesome.
What about you?
Silverhawks was cool because you had all the heavy metal music with it, and they played instruments.
yeah.
Did you like
Or they have-
Tiger
they have
Shark
one guy.
Toe to round it out?
Tiger Shark sucked.
Yeah.
Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh God.
All right. Well, so we know
That's what we
Victor's
should
a
do one
huge-
time is do an 80s cartoon one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Sorry. Well, I got Victor from Gen XPerience. I've got RA Rayne, who wrote the book Protocol G.I. Joe, which you can order. Correct?
Yes, it's on my TikTok shop.
Oh my.
And my website finally is being able to put up books to sell off of the website, so I'm going to have them up there.
I'll put it in the chat too.
So,
there you
yes,
go.
thank you, Destro, for putting the book
Yes.
up.
Very fun book. And then we also have, of course, Destro Designs, who's always here. But
Always here.
What's up, y'all?
let's say hello to the chat and then we'll get into it. But we got a few different people. Or Pentor's Lairs here. Thanks for coming. Or Skizio's here. Asholian is here. And as
That's
Holian says, he
funny.
does not give a shit about He-Man, basically. Couldn't care less, but he's here to support me. Thank you. Yeah, so we were on Travis Moody's show, which is great. A lot of fun. I love that guy. And we were talking about the non-releases of the Yojo June from last week. And Melted Copper and Asholian were in there trolling me, and they actually thought they were trolls for about a minute. But I was like, nah, that's not trolling. That's not real trolling. They're nice. They're nice about it. So I was like, no, don't worry about it.
Melted Copper came by live from Viperden Studios on Saturday. He was dropping the heat over there as well. Yeah. I take it. It's just funny. It's just how me and the dudes I grew up with. This is exactly how we talk to each other, basically. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I don't feel like there was ever anything that any of them said that was mean at all, or even remotely. But they were like, "Are these guys like assholes trying to troll you, or are they like no,
just
my friends?" They're here.
Dude, his name's Melted Copper. He's got to burn you.
Yeah, right. You're here to entertain through harassing.
That's a dad joke.
Silverhawks, Mass Cops. When we get to He-Man, oh yeah, sorry. We've got Kal-El here, Hot Rod 2188,
nice.
Antonius Block,
Pop Cold Frenzy in the house.
Charles Pickle Bowen. We've got all right. Well, let's get into it. So we'll talk about, like I said, we're gonna leave the spoilers to the end. We're just gonna not talk about the ending, just because there really are no spoilers for the most part in the movie. It's pretty much a standard, just very predictable movie. But we'll go through let me just hear your relationship with He-Man. We'll go around the room here, and then we'll get into what you thought of the movie overall. But Victor, what'd you think? What's your relationship with He-Man?
First of all, am I going to be bullied tonight? Am I going to be bullied as a He-Man fan and 3 Joes? You
can't, because you got the jack. You're jacked. The He-Man's jacked. What are we gonna do? We're inches.
Do not mess with me. All right. So I do have a very close personal, relationship. Actually, I received my He-Man and Skeletor action figures at the same time in 1982. So Christmas 1982, which means that was a whole year before the cartoon aired. I was very familiar with Marvel's mini comics and the story about the Barbarian. No Prince Adam, no Orko, none of that lore that came later. So I did love those comics. They were beautifully done. There was a different story, 2 halves of the Power Sword. Huge change they made in the cartoon. So I loved it. My first figures didn't even come with artwork on the back. They came with the cross sell only, but they didn't have artwork on them. And then the next wave would. So I loved it. And then when the cartoon came out in 83, I did go, who the hell are these people?
Yeah.
Who's Prince Adam? Where's the other half of the Power Sword? But this is going to relate to when we talk about the movie, because I can fucking evolve. Like I can evolve. I saw the cartoon went this direction, and I said, okay, great.
Yeah,
this is where it's going. And there's been so many iterations since, and that's why the movie didn't bother me that it takes liberties, because it's 2026, people. So there was a lot of I could see that there's been incarnations on cartoons all over the place, as well as comic books and comic strips. So I loved the figures. Had tons of them growing up. Had Castle Grayskull, and that was an awesome birthday. When I found it, because my parents hid it from me, when I found it, my sister and brother jumped on it and they put it together. I just watched and kind of directed and said, that goes there. And they put it together for me, and it was a blast. So mostly a figure kind of guy. I collect Origins today, the Origin vintage, not the Origin cartoon. So although I have Castle Grayskull and Point Dread right there, I do have the Fright Zone. Snake Mountain is in front of me here. Nice. My slime pit is on its way. So I definitely am trying to collect every single one of the vintage Origins, because I am a vintage Origin He-Man fan. There you go. There's my relationship.
Very cool.
Pop Girlfriend says, are these assholes trying to harass you? No, they're just assholes. Exactly. That's all. Or Skizio says, He-Man figures are best slathered in Vaseline to get those muscles all shiny. It's true. All of them are jacked. They're all jacked because they all have the same basic body sculpt.
Oh, every one of them was the same body of sculpt.
Yeah.
Well, they had 4 different designs. They had the fur one. They had the one with the fin. So they had I could trade those legs for the arms. So they did have the body buck was identical. And they go, well, the hairy one, the one with the claw. So yeah, there was 4 different
flipper feet. for no
Yeah,
Have you guys
reason
ever
whatsoever.
watched the show the Toys That Made Me?
Yeah.
Love that. Toys That Made
The
Us is
He-Man
one of the
one
best.
is
Yes.
the
Yeah, that was
absolute
good.
best.
It
Especially
is-
when you get when the creator starts talking about his design for He-Man and just how passionate he is about the male physique
Yeah.
and how it just had to be a certain way was just like it was TV gold.
Yeah. Well,
You're
what's
like, are we starting? Yeah, that's like, it's a little sexual in nature, you know?
yeah.
And you're like,
Oh.
is he starting?
Right.
Is it foreplay? What is that?
He definitely loved his product.
Yes.
What's your relationship with He-Man, Rich?
Mine basically started the same way, except the fact that because I had Star Wars and G.I. Joe, my mom wasn't really wanting me to get into another line. So I strong-handed, forced, coerced my brother into liking the line just so I could get the toys too.
Yeah.
Nice, clever.
Yeah, right. So I mean, we had all of them. But yeah, I was the same way. When I had Skeletor and He-Man, and you had the two halves of the Power Sword that went together, one purple, one silver.
Yeah.
When the cartoon came around, you went.
Skeletor
What
doesn't even
the-
have a sword.
Yeah.
Skeletor doesn't have the sword. They changed his origin. He's no longer from the extra dimensional plane, or
Correct.
trying to come to Eternia to reopen it so he can bring his own people along,
Right.
to dominate the Eternia. They changed him. I mean, there was so much, but that's the way things go.
It did,
Mhm.
right? Exactly.
There's been so many incarnations of He-Man. The different ones on Netflix that you had.
The
The
Cartoon
Kevin
Network
Smith one is
2002.
brilliant. It's to me, it's like the G.I. Joe Resolute of when you compare the two.
The
From
second
the old
season,
cartoons
especially
to
of that Netflix, was phenomenal.
yeah, the characters.
Revolution. Well, the second one.
It was both of them. It was Revelation, and season
Right.
2
The
was
second one was
Revolution.
just phenomenal. Though. That was stellar.
Yeah,
A lot of
But,
people
yeah.
hate it. A lot of people hate it.
They did.
a lot of people did hate it. The early 2000s one was really cool when
That's
that
what-
design. I was so hurt. I was so hurt and disappointed when they got to Hordak coming through, and that's how they ended it.
It's terrible.
Mm.
She-Ra was
literally
supposed to come in
screaming
season
no.
3. Yeah, it would have been great.
Right?
no kidding.
I mean, they spent way too long with the Snake Men at that point.
Right.
Because you could have done them in half a season and gotten onto Hordak a lot sooner, which would have been, But so yeah, I mean, my history with it is I've seen, read, and played with every incarnation you can.
Nice.
All right, so it's there.
What
Rain's
about
got
you,
it.
Destro?
Just real, there's a couple of people talk about something in the chat here. Orskizio said, I'm just here to monitor Destro Design's background for spooky stuff. And a couple of people echoed the sentiment. So on Saturday, sitting just like this bright light appeared and it shrunk and appeared to just disappear up like this. And then for like a couple minutes, when I was waving my hand, it looked like my hand was moving through some kind of weird light, something or other. It was obviously it's something with the camera or the lights or
It
something.
was
But
spiritual.
it was very interesting to say the least. But that's
Sounds like an alien abduction. Did
Yeah.
you wake up with your butthole feeling
Were
a
you
little like
probed?
Right. The stream was over. I don't remember how I ended it. Yeah.
Sounds to me like
butthole
Cobra
fell
Commander
back in
my
Destro
room.
tried to unleash some kind of psychedelic drug in your studio.
I know, right? That's
but
hey,
my
listen,
butthole felt dilated till about
right. My wife's like, hey, I bet he'll enjoy that. Have a good stream, buddy. Right in the coffee. Fun. But no, my relationship to He-Man there was a time when it was my favorite thing, right? So right before G.I. Joe came, I have to say, like, I like the Star Wars movies, but when I looked at the toys, I don't know. He-Man, while, not super flashy or anything, it was like the individual characters were cool. Like they had a bunch of different guys. Like that was one of the things I did like about the movie, just showing a bunch of different dudes. I don't know. There was something like I really thought Trapjaw was awesome. Like back in real life.
Trapjaw was awesome.
Skeletor is on my Mount Rushmore of villains. I actually picked up one of these. They were
nice.
at Walmart, so I couldn't say it. Actually, there was like a bunch of them I picked up. I was one for my godson and one for my nephew as well, just because they were like $10 or whatever. But nope, there was a time when He-Man was number one. Now, literally, the day I came home with the Destro and Snake Eyes version 1.5, those are my first two Joes. I remember it wasn't immediately, but by the end of that night, I was like, okay, you can take these and go do whatever you want with them, Mom. I just want more of these ones. It was literally quite like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, but now ultimately, when I look back at the end of things, I think He-Man falls down to almost number 4 because, like, I'd have to say tied for second. I'd say Cops and Mask were like my favorites beside G.I. Joe. And then number 3, I'd have to give that slot to the Ninja Turtles. I really liked the Turtles. The individual personalities. Casey Jones was like one of my favorite things. I just thought he was like awesome
character in Turtles.
Yes.
Oh, totally.
Yes,
without a doubt.
Yeah. And then the movies came out, so I definitely like Turtles, but I would slide He-Man in as like my fourth all-time favorite, but there was a time where he was top dog.
That's actually cool to know. I do want to preface that I think I'm a bit older than everyone. So
I bet you I got you beat.
I'm probably the oldest. But
so the thing is, because when you talk Turtles, I was kind of done. Like by 87, it was this. I was done. I watched, I paid attention, but I didn't get any more stuff. But when I hear people talk about Cops, I would watch it. But I was like, oh, there's no way I'm be allowed to even have a new toy in my house.
So if you want to, let's put it, okay, we'll put age this way.
Right.
I had the Star Wars early bird card.
Okay.
Okay, I'll put it out. I'm 1974. Born 1974.
Oh, I'm 73.
73.
All right. So we're right about. You're the young man. That's why, like, the Turtles thing for me. Turtles were like
the end, or
got into them, but then I was over it, and like I was still buying GI Joe and
and Turtles was the huge one for my brother.
Yeah,
right.
He-Man was supposed to be his, but mine
because you made him do that.
Well, that's I would say too. That's one of the things like that if like just something to say for how cool I must have thought the Turtles were, because like 80, I want to say that it was 88 when those toys or whatever, but I remember like getting them right at the same time that I got Shockwave and Alley Viper, and that's when I was ultra obsessed, right, with G.I. Joe. So for them to crack through, and I definitely I remember I bought all 4 Turtles, and then I was maybe thinking about a Casey Jones, and a friend of mine wanted to trade his Cops for my 4 Turtles, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind. It's how quick you decide, like, a bunch of Cops. I think it was the Bulletproof, the guy that it was him.
Yeah.
One of them came with a dog. I think it was one of the good guys. Yeah. That was the other one, and then I think it was only 3. He get 3 Cops for 4 Turtles, and I was like, all in, send it.
Let's see. Mask was big.
Go ahead. Sorry, I was going to say everything all the way to Silverhawks and all the way to Turtles and Power Ranger. It's all still very Gen X. We all cover this ground.
Yeah,
some of us a little early because like Star Wars, again, like you, Rayne, we're also close. Me, Mark, and you. But yes, they go all the way up to where we got Destro Spirit. Destro Designs. You're going a little later. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I also, not to let it slide, like I really very much enjoyed Silverhawks, but also Visionaries. I thought that they were.
I wanted to collect those. Yeah, they were so great animation, great cartoon.
Yeah.
Visionaries 1 year too. A lot of the 1 year ones are fun.
Yeah,
Brave Star's another one that's really fun.
I love Brave Star. I think that is one of the most underrated cartoons of the 80s.
Oh, Captain Power, honorable mention, because I love the figure that came with the big thing that he lit up. You don't even remember what the bad guys look like, but I did love that Captain Power figure.
What was so striking about He-Man at that time was, Star Wars had gone with 3 3/4, and then Hasbro decided they wanted to compete with Star Wars when they put out G.I. Joe again, so they made theirs 3 3/4. But then when Mattel put out He-Man, it was at 4.5, 5 inches, and it was 5.5. Yeah, 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah. Orca was 4.
The size matters, but anyway,
it does matter, especially when you're in toy design.
Yes, exactly. And that was a big surprise, wasn't it, Rayne? Like suddenly, they're not just taller; they're chunky. They're bold.
Right. Whereas the Star Wars and G.I. Joe were basically all stick figures. These guys had muscles. These guys were like the wrestlers that were, that was WWE was just starting to become big. Yeah. And, that's what the wrestlers looked like.
And then in 1987, it was all over.
Yeah.
They collapsed. Their party was over.
Yeah.
We got to address some of these. AARP is my spirit animal.
I saw that.
Nice.
Fuck you.
That's
Elderly
You
boomer
joke about
channel.
that, but every once in a while I get some mail from that.
I know. I got it too.
I
Yeah, so
remember.
my thing with He-Man was, I was obsessed. So he came out. I think it's the same reaction to some of you here. Oh, we had another one in here that I think I meant to address, and
Galaxy Rangers was cool.
So, and Tony Scott here in Hungary. I didn't realize you're coming from Hungary. That's very cool. Didn't have the cartoon, had the figures, mostly bootleg. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing where I agree. By the design, we thought the story was much darker. At the time, I had seen you had the mini comics before you saw the cartoon.
Correct.
If you got them right when they came out. And to me, he's a barbarian, and Skeletor's a demon from another dimension who snuck through, and he's bringing his buddies, and he's much scarier, and everything's much scarier. And He-Man cuts people's heads off, and he bangs Tila, and he that's He-Man to me. There's more of a and especially if you you saw the Conan movie. I forget what year.
Conan had just come out around then.
Yes,
it was like right before the design came out.
Yeah,
because you remember
1982. That is correct. Yep.
There's
the original design for He-Man was more of a barbarian.
Oh yeah, that's the guy.
This is one of those original designs. They decided to make it blonde, of course, but this is one of the guy's original designs they changed into toy form. But yeah, I love the barbarian style, and I loved Conan the movie.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to it with the movie, but there was a quote unquote Easter egg towards the original design in there.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I was a big so for me I will say coloring my liking of the movie, which I sort of expected, and almost liking any He-Man media, is I always felt that mini comic was cooler. I always felt the barbarian Conan dark creepy one was cooler. But again, you go like you said, you move on.
The cartoon takes over though too. The cartoon took over that old
100%.
100% mini comic. They weren't going to make it off of the Conan version as much as I think deep inside I'd like it to be. There was no way they were going to be able to go that dark because people's memory is Filmation.
Well, but remember, they went through a lot of iterations of the original cartoon. Like the pilot episode that they wrote and started to animate is nothing like what we got.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was much darker. There was a different tone to it. A different
was crazy.
Look entirely. The campy humor that we ended up with, I hate to say it came out of some of the times we were going through. Where they wanted things to be lighthearted.
And that's why we had to get Orko.
Here's the thing: is they
well, that's also why we had to get the message.
All
at the end.
the other cartoons didn't do this, but Filmation. So bringing up Kal-El brings up Thunder the Barbarian.
Oh yeah,
Thunder the Barbarian holds up. You watch that shit now; it was
so
awesome.
great. Yes,
so
Thunder the Barbarian was amazing. I love that.
It's dark without being like
Land Before Time was another one.
But it's still darker than He-Man. 100%. Thundar. There's
Thundar is completely Earth, and that was Hanna-Barbera.
Anything's darker than He-Man. He-Man is like he won't. That's the thing. Is like what He-Man. He won't even. He can't punch anything. He has to punch like a boulder, and the boulder rolls, and it hits the thing. It's like.
Right. That's not what happened in the movie, though.
No, that's true.
No, but also remember when He-Man started to come out. That's when we had, we had the PSA announcements with G.I. Joe in the cartoon. Right. There was a time when the quote unquote government, fun parties were wanting things to be a lot more cleaner and a lot more, kids can't have so much violence and
regulations.
Right. The regulations. Like, remember, you couldn't have a toy commercial air during a Saturday morning cartoons or after school cartoons. That at first, that's why they came up with these shows.
But I will say though, that's Filmation that did that because if you look at the exact same time, like G.I. Joe was doing shit like World Without End.
Right.
There's no place like Springfield, and they happen at the same time, and so it's like you got Filmation, which makes everything corny. And every one of their shows is corny.
I beg to differ. A little better. Did you see Flash Gordon? The cartoon.
Flash Gordon, the cartoon was great.
You have Ming the Merciless with Nazi with the swastika. You have 100% the Flash Gordon cartoon. Ming is like in cohorts to be like Hitler. So there's swastika shown. He has
Wow.
So I think it's probably the match of Mattel and Filmation coming together to make it more clean. But it is. You're 100% right. Before 1981, I mean, the Thundar is so much more exciting of a show. I wish that had lasted a lot longer.
Well, I mean, look at, we had Tom and Jerry, we had the Flintstones, we had all these things.
They were no more
the Jetsons. I fucking love the Jetsons.
But
what I was getting at was they had violence within the cartoons without having to have a PSA, without,
My favorite was Rosie, the sassy maid robot. That was the best.
She should have done the PSAs.
That's
there
right.
You go.
I agree. I agree. Place for everything, everything in its place.
Because they had G.I. Joe, because they had guns in it and things like that, they had to do the PSAs.
Yeah.
So He-Man was the same thing with the swords.
Nobody ever uses a sword to cut anything other than a rope.
Anything
in the entirety of the
right.
Even worse, this is kind of even worse and sexist. Is She-Ra was literally not allowed to punch anybody or anything ever.
Yep.
Right. She used anything else around her as a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Which really hurts.
So we all agree that it sanitized it by Filmation's cartoon sanitized it, but yet it's most memorable, it's most thought of when we think about it. And here's what I always think it is. The characters, and we can make all the jokes about Fisto, but they did it in the movie. All these and they do it in the toys that made us. Ram Man, Fisto, Trapjaw, Whiplash, Triclops, Spikor. There are so many
faces.
Awesome, unique figures that although G.I. Joe, I loved it more the second wave when they started to get really unique. I loved that about He-Man from the start is that they really said, screw it, everybody's going to be different. Even if they share some body, legs, and arms. They were so cool and unique. They did have some asinine names, but they really made it exciting.
Well, and that was just it. And the article I wrote for Serpentor's Lair, I reviewed the movie as, without really giving a good or bad or, that type of, because I hate doing that where you judge, where it's getting too judgy, because, with any film or any project, you can pick out what's good, what's bad. There are some hit and misses within the scripts, things like that, as writers and as viewers, as people that, that have grown up with this stuff, it's glaring holes to us, but, we don't necessarily need to always call it out and bash it.
Right.
I do want to clarify the Flash Gordon in the comments. I was talking about the cartoon, not the movie. So just
that movie.
However, though, one thing to bring up, and the reason why I highlighted that one is the movie obviously took a lot of inspiration from the Flash Gordon movie and felt probably most akin to the Flash Gordon movie from the 80s.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily anybody's favorite movie.
Right. And you know what? With what we know of He-Man and what we have of He-Man, the names and things like that, and the way Skeletor is, and the villains are in it, and the heroes are, it's almost impossible to write a movie about He-Man and not have that in it. I mean, you can, but then you're going to get people go, well, this doesn't feel like He-Man to me.
Oh, they're still saying it.
I would have, but I don't know. Let's get into our let's go around the room and do our
But that Flash Gordon movie was awesome. It's cheesy,
it really?
Camp,
I have not.
awesome.
I love the cheesy campness of it, but I will say this didn't follow. This is better than Flash Gordon.
Yeah,
from a production value, from an acting performance. But I still love Flash Gordon so much, and Flash Gordon too.
Flash Gordon. I saw that.
That's funny.
I saw Flash Gordon.
Hey, Mark, before we jump into He-Man, do you mind if I mention that raffle just really quick?
Go for it, please. Yeah.
All right, perfect. I'll keep it short. So a lot of you probably already know that I'm over on Twitter, which I'll put the link in the comments here. We are doing a raffle to help out one of the members of our community. A gentleman has faced real tragedy. He lost 2 of his adult daughters recently, and he's stepped up and taken adoption of the 6 surviving children. So he's got 8 kids in the house altogether now, and we're just trying to give him some relief. So in 4th place is the HasLab Cobra Commander sealed. It'll come in the package, the whole thing. That is 4th place. 3rd place donated. Oh, and that would be donated by my brother, Country Gentleman. This right here is Night Force Big Ben coming in at 3rd place, donated by Just Another Jerk. The next two are done by our brother Riptide O'Leary. He was the one behind Operation Dragonfly as well. This is Mutt coming in here, and Junkyard complete sealed coming in at second place, and then the Grand Enchilada is a sealed Serpentor. So this is for every $7 that you donate to this cause, you get one entry into the raffle, and we will be probably let this go for maybe like another week or so. I don't want to go too long, but I want to make sure that it's gotten, it's been shared around on Twitter a ton of times, and it's great. Animus is an amazing dude. I'm sure anybody that has kids right now, even like I have 2 kids, and then I tried to imagine that like with 6 more, and I was like, all right, let's see what we can do for our dude. Everybody's been very generous showing up and helping, but we will take this to the finish line. Also, I'm trying to get my man up and running. He is a brilliant artist.
Wow.
And when I told him that I was doing this, he was like, oh, I have some talent that I could use. Listen, what you see in the digital picture here does not do it. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life, out of anything, not just art, just anything, anywhere.
Yeah. Nice.
I could go on about this, but there is a video on my channel. And so thank you so much, Mark, for allowing me to mention it. Thank you so much for your donation. Thank you to everybody else. I will put it's the Twitter post. I'll put the link in the comments, and in the comments of that post is you'll see all the information and places that you can donate. So anybody,
Hot Rod 2188 says, I stay away from Twitter. Is there a place to donate? You can put in the chat. That's
So when I'll do it right now. I'll pop it's just I can donate, or I'm sorry, if you have like Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, I can probably put something directly onto the thing. But right here, I'll just drop the
right.
So you don't have to sign up for anything on Twitter. You just hit the comment there, and that'll take you right to the post. And there's a video, down below. You get to see it's Cash App, PayPal.
Hey, Destro. If
Yeah.
you want to add a copy of a signed copy of my book to the list, I'll send you one for it.
We have already started a separate one, as a matter of fact. And then I forgot this. For this one, thank you, Rich. We'll talk about that after. So as a special bonus there's those 4 prizes, my brother Cletus Cobra also offered for anybody that gets 5 or more entries. He is donated. This is the Christmas card he made for me. That's supposed to be me as an Alley Viper Santa Claus. He loves Cletus, the desert guy. So he said after these are drawn, then anybody that didn't win any of those prizes will be a separate pool for 5 entries or above, and he will draw you as a character of who you want. He'll put Cletus in there too if you want. I'm sure he won't be picky about it. He just knows he wants to help, and he reached out. So Cletus and Cobra, thank you so much. He's donated to every little thing that thing that I've had here.
Those are great prizes. So.
Yes, they truly. Thank you.
Good cause. Yeah. Very nice. All right. Thomas Goes Nostalgia. This is your
that's my buddy who I do a Tuesday night show with at 7:00 on Thomas Goes Nostalgic. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Thanks for coming.
Very cool.
Also got G.I. Dave is here. He says you saw the movie today and loved it. Okay, nice. Assholian says I'm going to Japan in 2 weeks. This is what he's referring to. Gonna find the used panty venting machines. I think that probably wouldn't go over too well. Stay away from those. Maybe not. Anyway, let's talk about
nice segue.
Yeah. Oh wait, Assholian. G.I. Dave is Assholian is calling G.I. Dave out because the professor's here. Are you going to break down the Motu vehicles and suck all the fun out of that too?
Oh my god.
It's ruthless on that comment.
I don't think he means in the mean way. Again, I think everybody loved G.I. Dave's breaking down. Oh, G.I. Dave, I'm going to ask you about the 2-way rockets on the ferret. That is the thing I remember we talked about, but we need to talk about that.
Right.
Dude, those 2-way rockets drive me freaking bad because there's no propulsion.
They're so awesome, though. You can go backwards and
reason
forward. You can kill somebody from behind and forwards.
It's arguably my
like
favorite stupid thing, out of the whole line. It's my favorite dumb
like
one.
The boomerang bomb in Twisted Metal.
It's so good.
They make no sense.
That's funny. The boomerang bomb from Twisted Metal is an awesome game.
All right, Victor, give us your.
The show's even better.
Oh, we're gonna start with me.
Yeah. Sorry,
I don't know, but I might have a glowing review. Should we hear from the people? Did anyone hate it?
No.
All right.
My wife said she doesn't ever need to see it again.
Okay.
Well, I should start there and tell you that this is rewatchable while the 1987 one is not.
It's really not.
So
I just
Yeah,
watched
but hey,
it. It was
that
really hard to watch.
1987 one,
Oh.
we were excited to get
I
that
was,
movie.
oh my God, I was in that theater and I still walked out loving it. But the truth is, today, you can watch scenes of it, or I can watch a reactor watch it, but I will never sit and watch that from beginning to end. But this, I knew walking out, I was like, when can I see it again? So I knew that the whole thing is it exists now and it will be available and I'll be able to watch it because I want to. Yeah. I even went in tempered because 1987's wasn't that great, although I loved it as a kid. It's not that great. I didn't have a lot of high hopes because this is very niche. For some reason, this franchise just doesn't resonate with young people, unlike the Transformers. And I don't get it. Like, I don't get it that they can continue to make these horrible Transformer movies.
Yeah.
And they are blowing up with billions of dollars. And Michael Bay, who's a douche, is like making these. And I liked Bumblebee, which I think is Travis Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Knight did it. Yep.
So I went in here going, who knows? You know what? If anything, it's just for me. But I had a blast. I had such a good time. And yeah, is it perfect? No, of course not. There's a lot of things that are kind of downfalls for it. But I just, my review first and foremost is simply, this was a lot of fun, better than I expected, and people needed to give it a chance. So that's my top of the review. Now, the more detailed is what I said earlier. There's been so many incarnations and variations of this brand and this toy line, this franchise as a whole, that I knew they'd make changes, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get man.
You have to be.
You have to be okay because they're not making it for Victor.
Right.
They're really making it for a lot more people. So things got to change. I wish.
Although there are a lot of people that, I mean, you would think that they only made it for 45 to 55-year-old men.
Right.
That's the thing. They certainly tried. When you watch it go, I can see a lot of things that young people would love. This action was insane. The violence was better than I could. The violence blew me away because of what you said earlier, Mark. There was no punching Skeletor in the face in the cartoon. But no, we got some great fight scenes. Great fight scenes. The violence was actually not that it was gory. It was just the violence was more than I thought, and I was there for it. I was there for it. There was like 3 major battle action scenes, and I do love that they used some of those random characters like Karg. In the 1987 movie, and I thought
that was a great
why would you bring Karg into it? And then I thought, he's easily killable because he isn't a really named character in the franchise. And then I said, Goat Man. Oh yeah, look at this. It's cannon fodder. Right. So it was really cool to have very, very neat look characters, but they could also be people that could meet their demise, let's say. So it was fun to see. The violence was pretty exciting. You know, I think the biggest thing, besides I wanted Tila's hair up the whole time. Yeah. The finale outfit of hers, I wish she had spent most of the movie in. So in the end,
how did she change? She was
right. I'm trying to remember.
In the end, when everything was good and better, and they all kind of meet together laughing. And I love that. It's so cheesy because they're all like, it's great. And she's wearing the most similar outfit to her original One Piece. It's a little bit of a skirt, but I do love that look. And I was like, oh, that could have been the whole way through. Would have been awesome. Yeah. But quite honestly, the Adam and He-Man identity thing, I think rubs a lot of people the wrong way. And, but I didn't think about it. I honestly forgot. It was way through the film when I went, oh yeah. Oh, everybody knows. Yeah. Like, I didn't even
that was a great little way to do it and still stay true to it.
And still stay true. And I was like, big deal. Who needs another Clark Kent? I evolved. I totally took the movie
that I evolved. It's the same thing with Iron Man. When Tony Stark says it at the end of it, there's no point in, because the cartoon and the comic book, they did it where they would keep finding new ways to keep his secret identity.
Secret identity is secret. It gets ridiculous.
You get rid of it. There's only a couple characters that you really need to keep their secret identities. You know, Bruce Wayne, Peter Parker. That's about it. I mean, Clark Kent.
There aren't a lot. It's a really great old trope, but it was okay to break it. I didn't mind. It was funny at the end when he ran off and they said, does he think we don't know? I like it. Was it was a great gag. And those are the indoor gags that I really, really like. So overall, that movie was a lot of fun. Great action, fantastic. The CGI that was enhancement, like Trapjaw could have easily been all CGI, but he wasn't. That was amazing prosthetic. The arm was fantastic. I think Battle Cat or Cringer was the most CGI, but who's got a big green cat in their back? Right. So I don't know. So the performances were all really well. I'm going to say one thing negative about Evil Lynn, because Allison Bree's probably fine, but they so underutilized her. They absolutely 100% didn't use her enough. They didn't give her the sinisterness that she should have had, but that's not her fault. Truly not her fault at all. She could have been more. It's sad that they didn't get a little bit more of her. I also thought her look was lackluster, but that's actually one of the only ones I thought was a completely lackluster look. Besides the one character that didn't need to be in this film, and I do think that they misused, was Triclops. There was no reason to have the sniper with the 3 eyes when they only kept the 1 eye.
Well, and they had the opportunity to change the eye around.
They did, and it was like that was a useless decision. But none of these break the movie. The production value, the costuming, the Easter eggs. I saw the Easter egg immediately in the film of Gygor, an unreleased gorilla character, right on the wall. I saw that. I know exactly who that is as it went by. So it was pretty cool.
He was one of the figures that never got put out. He was produced until they did the Mattel
Classics.
Collectors Club.
Yeah,
and they put him out, and
he was cool.
I mean, he was like, he was huge. He had to be probably about almost 10 inches.
Right, he was a big character, which it would have been great in the collection. So, Evil Lynn from the '87 movie does outweigh Evil Lynn from this one.
Yeah, she's just scary.
Meg Foster was very villainous. And looked good. So overall, my review is I love this film. It got a bad rap. It deserves to be seen. It is good fun, and it's a blast. It has no bad performances. It has some underutilized elements, a couple of slow moments, but nothing ruins this film. And like I said earlier, I've evolved with He-Man. It has changed over time. I don't mind taking new lore, new costumes don't bother me. I mean, I just want to to everybody out there that gets all whiny about like she should have been in her one-piece bathing suit.
Right.
Okay, great.
You get it. You
pretty much get it. So
at some point in the movie, you get it.
I wanted her in the one piece.
I wanted more axes. I will say, at my theater, I got the drink of the day. So I went to the bar in the theater, and they were having the Castle Grey Goose skull. So I go ahead and I get a power sword and a havoc staff in my drink. So
I would have gotten the drink just for that.
Yeah,
there's one fight in it that I thought he was going to pick up the battle axe, because there was a battle axe in it, and it goes past him, and I thought if you just had him catch it. And hold it up, it would have been. I would have jumped out of my seat.
It was sad to see too many weapons like shooting. I was someone, but again, it was for me going. That's my that's the '82 Victor. That's the '82 He-Man. Right. Like everybody's got barbarian weapons, but it would have been nice to see anyway. I missed that.
But you remember when you got to She-Ra in those last couple of seasons of the cartoon, there was a lot more shooting and a lot more characters that
100%.
Especially She-Ra, because they had the Horde robots were always shooting.
Yeah, but for some reason, movies He-Man's always in the 1987 movie He-Man shoots the whole time.
All right. I think that may be one reason why they didn't want to have that too.
Perhaps.
I mean,
let's go around the room. So
I guess that's my review.
All right. What's your overall take? Just like global view. Then we'll get into the nitty gritty.
I love the movie. I was greatly surprised, especially with Jared Leto's performance as Skeletor, because when I saw one of there's that one trailer where he's doing his monologuing, and I thought, oh, it's going to get too cheesy. I know it's got to be some, but Skeletor is going to be way over the top. I was greatly surprised at how he did. I think Alison Brie did a good job with what she had, and she was prepared for Evil Lynn. But I wish they would have given, like you said, given her more. It's in the trailer, so you see Beastman in the trailer on Earth. If they would have had Evil Lynn, and then in disguise, and then transform on that bridge and just start, shooting her havoc or her staff at the cars, that would have been great. You could have had so much more with that. You know, like let her be the woman. You know, the comic book store girl, the clerk.
Right. I heard a lot
If
of
you would
people
have had her in disguise there, and then you know that's what, and then she's watching the staff. She needs to find out. She needs to find He-Man or Adam.
Yeah.
Adam needs to find the sword. You could have had a great moment right there where you start the whole thing with with her chasing him through Earth.
Yeah.
And there's just, for me, I loved it. I can't wait to see it again. I know why people didn't go to the theater. I know why.
Various reasons.
There's a lot of reasons. We'll really see how well movies are going to do this year with Toy Story this coming week, because it's got all the hype now with everything. If it does $1 billion, then you go, okay, well, there's something with these other movies, because right now the highest grossing movie of the year is did like 220 some million, its first opening weekend, and it hasn't done much more than that. So
yeah.
And if you look at it, the generations that are going to the movies now for to see like the two horror films that are out now that are made by YouTubers, those are the number 1 and number 2 movies.
Makes sense.
And it makes sense because they're all these YouTubers are people that are watching these guys make this content are wanting to see what they do in the theater. So they're going to rush to it, and their numbers are going to look more impressive because they cost less to make.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Because there's all this talk right now that we probably are not going to get a sequel or anything because
Amazon has said they want to make one.
I was just going to say, they also have to remember it's Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime needs content.
Right.
They need their own original content. They're going to continuously make these. If you get an audience, and if it does well enough, and the true test is going to see what happens when it starts streaming.
Right.
Because I have a feeling this movie is just going to be incredibly streamed. It's going to get streamed all the time.
You can call it a flop because it doesn't make money in the theater, but that's not even the really take anymore. Not to mention, a flop is critic review, is also viewer review. So I don't care about the money.
The reviews have been great. It's been like very, very positive, almost all across the board.
By the 45 to 50.
A very positive review. But then, when you think about it, is like, well, Amazon will blow 250 million on a show like Rings of Power, which then doesn't make its money. Like, there's no way to tell if it makes its money back. It's just like you can see how many people watched it. And you
want to talk about a niche audience? That's a niche audience.
Well, that's the thing is so it doesn't necessarily need to be a hit if it's going to keep people subscribing, because realistically, like, with Amazon Prime, I think I only get it because I already have. I get it because the Prime.
Right.
Their business model is just weird to me. But like, I think I watch like 3 shows on it. I watch Invincible, and I used to watch The Boys. And
Invincible was great. The Boys.
That's about it, though. I'm not.
Spider-Man Noir is really good. There's some other stuff, because they also have the MGM. Their MGM, which is what Masters of the Universe got made as. Oh, real quick, the words "Masters of the Universe" are not said in that movie at all.
Oh, interesting.
That's what upset me. The overuse of the joke about the names got a little much, especially when you got to the end and you get to the big "here we go" moment with the names, and it's like, well, we've been hearing this joke all along. This would have been great if he did it like once or twice. The Fisto one, definitely you got to do. You got to hit that one. I mean,
Ram Man,
not maybe 100.
Ram Man too. But that's why those 2 characters were put in, was just for that humor.
The Fisto joke was like every 2 minutes.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. Kept me entertained.
Yep.
There's the rule of 3 when it comes to writing comedy. You write a joke 10. 3 times, and and the payoff is the 3rd time you tell the joke. That's why you always, especially in sitcom, you'll see them. They'll hit that 3rd joke the hardest. But when you keep telling the joke over and over again, by the time you get to the end, even somebody like my wife, who has very limited knowledge when it comes to Motu, she's going, "Here it comes." She actually said.
Can you imagine though if they? Can you imagine if they did make fun of it? If you just went into a movie all serious, we're like, "Fisto, come here! All right, Ram Man and Spike War." It's stupid. Right. It's dumb. You can't you can't go in there like that. We're not children. So when someone says apologizing for the characters' names, they're not apologizing. We're actually trying to meet it.
We're in on the joke too.
We're in on the joke,
right?
Yeah.
But one of the things I wrote in that article was that it was the names were written for 10-year-old boys to understand.
Yeah.
When the toys were created, for them to make the joke that a 10-year-old boy is naming them is just. I know it's meta. I know people don't say meta anymore, but it's so of what the rest of this movie does is it says, look, we know this is a joke. This is funny. This is absurd. We're in on it.
Yeah.
And when a movie can do that and they can do it where it allows the audience to know that they're in on the joke and not feel like it's just getting shoved at you, that's when you have a good movie. Like I said, they used the joke a little bit too much, but
they use it too much.
It doesn't kill the movie for me.
It doesn't.
No.
Right.
All right. Destro Designs, what's your overall review? And then we'll just get into the little bits and details.
I liked a lot of it. I disliked some of it. I guess is the best way to say it. Like the parts I didn't like, I don't think necessarily were about the movie in general. Like I'm hard to sit still, first of all. So anywhere around that 45-minute mark, I have to like really dial back in. But it definitely kept and also anytime I sit down, I start to do this.
Yeah.
Which is I do it anywhere I go for more than 5 minutes. I will just fall asleep. But no, there was definitely some good stuff and just a few parts that I kind of was like, okay, the Fisto jokes, that was one. Can we just please move on from the Fisto joke? I think when there was a part towards the end when he was being reintroduced to a lot of the people. To me, it was like, okay, enough with the backstory. Man, let's get to the
Those
fight.
are some of those slow moments where you're like, speed that up.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Really just basic criticisms that I would have about most movies, right? Just at certain parts, or whatever. But overall, I thought it was good. It's going to be when it hits like Amazon Prime, if that's where it goes, and I can like kind of skip through a couple parts, I'll have watched it a ton of times once it hits there.
Makes sense.
All right. Well, my take is I enjoyed it, and like you said, I think there's a thing is it's really easy to see He-Man as silly and almost unavoidable, but not. Like you can make a serious He-Man movie, and you could have made a Lord of the Rings style He-Man movie. In fact, and the reason why I know this is true is because they've been trying to make this movie for about 20 years.
Right.
Yes, they have.
I did a deep dive into the history of that. I actually have 2 of the screenplays that I have found online that I'm reading right now. And as well as a G.I. Joe screenplay online that I'm reading right now, by the way. Yeah, which I may be making a video out of.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I found a lost G.I. Joe screenplay and 2 lost He-Man screenplays. One of them was supposed to have Nicolas Cage play Skeletor and was going to be directed by John Woo. What? Which would have been it was written by Adam Rifkin, who wrote Detroit Rock City and a couple other things. And they were going to do a flat out like hero's journey, very serious, just myth. And then David Goyer was going to do one that he can't find the script for, but everybody says was going to be like this epic Lord of the Rings style thing. And I get why they did the jokey, goofy movie, and I think that it's almost you can't blame them too much because, and I think also when you look at the history of this movie, you really understand why they did this, which is like very clear. I think you can do like, for instance, like take Batman for instance, right? You got Batman, 1960s Batman, which is totally goofy and silly and ridiculous. Yeah. And the tone of the 60s comic books was not that silly, but it was like in between. And then you got the Dark Knight shit. And then you got like the Christopher Nolan movies and the new movies, which are like really dark, right? Like really, and what they do is they take and they focus on the stuff that kind of fits into that world and that they can put into a realistic world. And they make a semi-realistic movie. They just like lean into those things.
Well, that's basically what Tim Burton said he did with the original Batman movie in the 80s.
Well, that's the thing. He
wanted to tell a dark story, but he wanted to keep some of the camp that people loved from the original show.
Right.
Yeah, but it's like, I think, the other movies are way better for Batman because Batman is more
yeah.
serious though. Batman is much more serious.
True.
So
especially
He-Man,
Batman in the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Or really since Dark Knight.
but the way is He-Man absolutely could have like a total mythic thing. All you got to do is change some of the names maybe, and you have like a mythic thing, and maybe it's awesome, maybe it's boring, who knows. But what happened, and what I think is clearly what happened with this movie, is the Barbie movie is why this movie exists. So when you look at the origins of what the Barbie, they tried to make them. I think if you look at Travis Knight is a mythic director.
Travis Knight is also a major Motu fan.
Yeah, he is, but he directed Kubo and the Two Strings, which plays like a total myth. He directed Bumblebee. He's not one to make jokes. He's got
that new one, Wildwood, that's very dark.
Yeah, he's not a jokey, goofy movie type guy. So I think what happened is it's kind of clear that the studio was like, we want to make Barbie, but for boys. But it's never going to be that. It was never going to be that because the meta joke isn't interesting. Like the meta thing in Barbie was interesting because it commented on women and men and society. And the meta joke in He-Man doesn't really comment on anything.
No, so it
really
can't be
not very interesting at all. It's just a joke.
Right.
It's just a gag. And then it becomes a little. So however, entering into the movie theater and going, I understand what I'm watching. By the first 20 minutes, I know it's a big goof and it's going with the Filmation version and amping it up a bit. I just got to go along and just like have a good time. And having done that, I had a blast. It was really fun. The cast is great. The action scenes are great. I could nitpick the shit out of it, and I will. But overall, I just thought it was a fun movie and was glad to see. What I loved is like you just saw so much. Like there were so many characters in it.
Yeah.
That got a little time to shine. The fact that we saw Triclops for a minute, or we saw Trapjaw was like the star of the show for me. That was the best thing.
I wanted Merman so bad.
Yeah,
sequel,
man.
Yeah,
I knew we weren't getting him. I know why. There were a lot of reasons why. Mainly the one that they will say the most is that it's the CG that was really holding them back on that.
He's going to get Steve Buscemi to play him. He's got the same eyes.
He's got the Mark, if I could comment on you real quick, what you said. It's been in production for so long, so many changes. Actors were named, it was canceled. So obviously before Barbie. So when Barbie comes out and becomes this mega hit, they want to do something similar. All got that. I think we all kind of grab Mattel's going to do it for a bunch of other things that are crazy, like Polly Pocket.
They're not going to because this flop. Thankfully, that's the one good reason why we would be happy if flop is they're not going to make the fucking Polly Pocket movie. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah,
so, no, it's okay. Maybe the Hot Wheels will be good. Who knows? So the thing is,
hey, they're doing Monster High. That's theirs too.
Oh, okay. So I think about the Barbarian part. I truly don't believe a serious Barbarian movie would work. No. I want to, but that was 1979 to 1984 was our fantasy Barbarian time. Lord of the Rings is a bit different. But you talk about loincloth studded men. You have this. This is not the Barbarian era is over.
Are you telling me we're not going to get a Beastmaster remake?
No, I doubt it. We won't not on it. So I just don't believe. And
Nicolas
Cage. Woo! Thank God we dodged that bullet. So
it's the same thing with him as Superman.
Exactly, dodged the bullet. But I just don't believe that thing. I think failed a lot because the idea to make it serious, which I want deep in my heart, isn't going to resonate. And young people will not be going to see sweaty men in loincloths battling with axes.
But this didn't resonate.
It didn't. But I don't. That's because this franchise doesn't. This franchise isn't going to. That it's past. So what they tried to do was reach out and really grab us, and maybe they would take some people along for the ride. But they were not
because
get it.
I was just going to say that because the Gen Alpha has absolutely no idea who He-Man is. Gen Z or Z, I hate this stupid labeling these generations
before Alpha,
right?
The one that can't do anything is the one that can't get out of bed.
Yeah,
right.
Or the one that has no workout.
They have an idea
generation is
it? They're because the cartoons were on. They had the late 2000s and those cartoons on for Gen Z. So they have a familiar. Also, with their parents having a familiarity with them. Now these kids are looking at their grandparents, going, Dad, who the hell is He-Man? Why do I want to look at somebody that's in a loincloth with muscles that don't look real? You know, so they're and they're too busy going 6'7" or whatever the hand motion thing is to even know what Fisto is. That joke would be even lost on them.
Yeah.
Gen Z would get the joke, but they're going, I don't get Fisto. What? Ram Man? Okay, so he uses his head. They won't get it.
Oh, I saw Barbie.
Right. What else would you call him?
Right. Yeah, he fists people. Well, I think I agree. Like, well, I don't know a barbarian movie, but I think they would still do the Prince Adam He-Man thing. But in all the scripts that were out there, it seems like they're still
they were still going to lean.
Well,
into
Sony desperately wanted it in the early 2000s when they had MGM. Yeah, they tried everything that they could to start one up, and there, every time the concepts they came up with, like, there was a Lord of the Rings idea going Sony because Lord of the Rings became so big that they thought, okay, we can capitalize off this with our own IP, but it just they could never get things in order. And I mean, to be honest, we're lucky we got something now. Yeah, because they've tried this for so long. That
you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
and seeing how fans have turned on Star Wars and things like that with all these, they didn't want to take themselves too serious because that's what they did with the 87 one, and it just didn't. You also had to stay away from being on Earth, but you don't want to not be on Earth. I think having Adam come to Earth and spend 10 years here or 15 years, whatever it was, I think is a smart idea, especially not to show it. Just allow the audience to understand, okay, here's where we are. Let's go on.
Right. Here's my thing is, I think that it just, the problem is they're overthinking it. And they're trying to be like, well, let's see, this person will like it if we do this, and this person will like it if we put a joke in it. This person will like it if we take it a little more seriously. So what you got in this movie is it's kind of half taken really seriously, and then it's half stupid.
I will agree. There's some very serious moments. You're right. There were. And then there was the overly comedic. And I think that is a lot of what happened back there in the back office, Mark. I think it was exactly that going, we have to appeal to this. We're trying to appeal to that. Mm-hmm. This, I don't think the property appeals to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's just, you're not, I mean, it was a nostalgic, orgasm watching this. There was so much going on that, yeah, seriously, it's like they're in the little things that were hearkening back to not only the movie or the TV series or this show or the comic.
Yeah, they actually grabbed a lot.
There was all kinds of, and that was one of the things with Travis Knight being a fan, that you could tell that this was made with love and that this was made
I thought so.
for. I want to, if this was his movie that he's been dreaming about since he was a kid making, with He-Man.
Yeah,
that. When I grow up and I make a movie and I get to make He-Man, here's my story. And it's been there since he probably was a kid. So there, it has that 10-year-old feel to it. But I think that unless you're going to completely change the idea and, go even darker than what Revolution and the Kevin Smith ones were, you'd have to go way more Conan the Barbarian and Red Sonja type movies. And I don't think that's going to work. And it's not going to be believable. And Skeletor is going to become so god-awful evil at that point that you've just now written the devil.
Well, I think you can make it work if you got the right director, the right writer. You had a really great movie. I think that's the problem is a lot of the stuff is like, it's like, well, why didn't it hit? And it's like, well, because it's pretty mediocre. And like, I think this is a fun movie, but it's pretty mediocre. You know what I mean?
They played it safe.
When a great movie, would a great movie even hit? I don't know, because I like the Dungeons and Dragons movie that came out a few years ago. Everybody universally loved that movie. I don't know if it was a great movie, but it was a very fun movie.
But that wasn't well received either in the theaters.
Yeah, it was bombed, right? So
we have a couple questions in the theaters.
It bombed, yeah. Did you guys see the Barbarian Brothers Pure Cinema? I actually met the Barbarian Brothers because a guy.
Did you really? I knew.
Went to URI. One of them's passed away.
Yeah.
One of them went to URI, and he actually was mentored by a guy that is a friend of mine. And anyway, so I met him.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and he made like poetry films. It was very, very odd. But okay, so Serpentor's Lair, how is G.I. Joe then ever going to reach modern kids? Brandon says it doesn't.
Well,
Okay,
the G.I.
here,
Joe
let me
movies-
tell you this. The Energon universe cartoon has a huge potential to reach fans because here's the thing: is a lot of people like they're making Masters of the Universe, they're making Star Wars, they're making this shit is our stuff. And what I think a lot of people are missing in Hollywood is young kids or teenagers and 20 somethings. They have their own shit.
Yeah,
They're not. No, they love anime, One Piece,
Backroom.
the back room.
Oh,
More like
yep.
they actually really like. I don't think the thing is what's funny is they love fantasy. Fantasy is bigger to them than it is to anybody.
Look how excited everybody is for the Zelda
they
movie.
do like fantasy.
They like Stranger Things. They like One Piece. They like anime. They like Demon Slayer, and they like Invincible. Here's the thing: one of those things they like happens to be Invincible, Robert Kirkman, and they're making that G.I. Joe cartoon. Now that G.I. Joe Transformers cartoon is R-rated. It's blood and guts, and it resonates. G.I. Joe could hit with a whole new generation.
I don't know if they'll make it that dark because of the
of its source.
Yeah. But why? Because they're going to give up. They've given up on the toys for kids. Like they just have. They don't seem to give.
I would agree.
Dip Dog's thing about Danny McBride, I don't think he should. I really hope he doesn't embrace the ridiculousness and
agree.
You know, you can make a serious. See, unlike
you can. Yes. Universe, in fact, it's easy.
Yes.
Right.
Totally.
Right.
I know people in the comments are going to kill me for it, but I did it with the book. I was able to take it serious, make it a military book, and still find moments to put in some of that little G.I. Joe camp.
Yeah. Well, like the Avengers movies are a little, they always have a little bit of sense of humor. But when they go too far, like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are my favorite movies of the entire MCU.
Yeah.
And they're fun.
They're fun. But that's a specific group. When the humor bleeds over into everybody has that same sense of humor, it gets really tiresome.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, Taika Waititi's versions of Thor 3 and 4, or whichever ones he did, or 2,
Love and Thunder.
Right? Yeah, that's what it felt like.
But that's where
this felt like that to you.
Kinda. Yeah.
Oh, this was here, Thor. This was here. That Thor is so bad. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's brutal.
As a girl dad, I liked it, and then certain things in it I did like. But as of all the Thor movies, that's the least. But that's neither here nor there. Unfortunately, they're going to have. You can have that camp, that fun, but you don't want it to go too far, like Thor: Love and Thunder, because then you're no longer keeping the audience in on the joke. They're not laughing. They're trying. You're trying to make them laugh at everything, and if everything's funny, then nothing's funny. So
right.
Taika did a great job with the Thor Ragnarok. I mean, my God, that thing was hilarious. Unfortunately, that was kind of after that did so well because of that. They went, okay, well, we got to do this with every Marvel.
They embraced it, right?
Yeah. So Pedro Lair says, I have the fix. Adam is on Earth, and he works for a used car dealership that is owned by Cobra Commander. Here we go.
That's great.
Makes 2 movies that shouldn't be. Okay. Steve says he feels like the writers are embarrassed by the movie. 100%. Yeah. And, I don't know. What do you guys think of so let's like hit a couple different points about the movie. Okay. Cast. What's your feeling on Destro? I'll ask you first. What's your feeling on the cast in general, or pick anybody in the cast that stood out to you as bad or good? Or
I would say Jared Leto, as everybody said, did very well. Right, I thought that he did well with Skeletor for sure. I wish they had. Again, what kind of movie are you going for? Seeing as how they went for the jokey kind of movie, then Skeletor was on point. I would have loved to have saw him more as like a totally evil fuck fighting like a He-Man. I would have loved to saw him more serious. But that's not. I went into it going, okay, it's probably going to be jokey and it's going to have that humor in it. So I'm going to enjoy it for what it was, and I did. I can honestly say I feel like all the actors did a good job with what they were given. I think, as Victor said, it's kind of like, the evil Lynn I felt like the way she was written combined with what looked like an uncanny resemblance to Kristen Wiig, I was waiting for her to start telling jokes. And I'm not, because it looked like, you know,
She
the
is a
girl from Saturday Night
comedian,
Live.
man. She's
Like,
right.
Which,
is-
ironically, that's the voice of Roboto.
no,
Yeah.
okay.
That's
Oh,
right.
is it really?
Yes.
Okay, I knew it sounded familiar, but as far as the acting goes, I thought that was pretty good. I mean, yeah, the Skeletor was good, and the Tila, you know, wasn't bad. Again, it was like I felt like, oh yeah, if they gave them a more serious role to play in that part, that they would have done well with that too.
Yeah, she's
you know,
super bland character
right,
in
right,
the
right.
movie. She's a super bland
I thought the sorceress was kind of like, again, I also, when I was a kid, I thought the sorceress, I was like, she's a bird. What does she actually do besides stand over here and go, I can't really do anything? You know what I mean? So that kind of played into seeing her.
And that's exactly what happened in the movie.
Right. And that was that. But no, I have no real gripe about any of the jobs that anybody. Oh, Alba, I thought did pretty good. I mean, I think he's just a great, phenomenal actor as it is anyway. So I think he did okay with that. And
Yeah,
I
he was
mean,
good.
the Man Ram Mephisto guys, what can you do now? I mean, they had bit. I don't want to say bit parts, but they didn't talk all that much.
Right.
And I thought that they could have shown Man Ram ramming more. Right? You only really see him like spring through the wind like one time, and I thought that kind of sucked.
That one time you do see his legs kind of spring. What
I saw
Yeah,
that.
I was like,
I thought I caught it.
I loved it. I loved
I
it.
was like, okay, that's cool.
My favorite part of the movie might be Trapjaw, because I think the way that he looked and how cool they did his arm, right? That obviously you're not going to have him pulling a hook off and putting something on like a bat, right? So it was definitely some technology there, and they built up how important it was, and then when He-Man ripped it off and demoralized them in that way. I don't know. I thought Trapjaw was probably my favorite part of the movie, to be honest with you. Now that I'm thinking about it, but nope, I thought all the actors did great, actresses too as well.
Yeah, Trapjaw was to me, that was they just looked at, that was when I was in love with the movie. Is the same as Steve says, man, the beginning fight when the two of them faced off, because I was like, that is what I want Trapjaw to be. And that fight scene, it was a badass fight scene, and he looked scary.
Yes,
he looked cool. He translated really well into a fantasy world.
And they straddled that line of like, is he a robot or a weird alien with the? Oh, okay, so he's like a fleshy alien with this crazy cool thing on his arm. And the actual Trapjaw look. I mean, because there's a million ways that Trapjaw looks like shit, right? You can make.
They did a good job of matching him up to the comic, to the cartoon.
Whatever
Spike they changed though. Because,
he looked good. Spike looked good.
He looked good, but that he wasn't. That's not his origin. He's actually a armor that gets trapped because he fails at his job or something. He gets trapped in the Spike armor.
Oh, nice.
And,
okay.
It's almost like a man in an iron mask type thing.
Iron.
I also talk about underused characters. I do think Triclops could have been so much more. He was a badass character in the cartoon, right? Wasn't he like important? He was one of Skeletor's head assassins.
It was like Trapjaw, Triclops, Merman, and Beastman, and Evil Man were like the main ones.
They were that, right? Yeah, that's what I thought too. So I don't know. I would have liked to have saw a little more than that. And I mean, also, like I said, more Man Ram ramming, and Evil Lyn could have been a much more prominent part of what was going on there, I thought. But
I think she was miscast. I think I love her as an actress.
Okay.
I think she's a great actress. Alison Brie, I've seen her in a bunch of things, but she's a comedian. And it's like,
and she wanted this role for a long time.
Really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you can want it, but you don't deserve it.
There would have been so many people better that could have been like more menacing than she is, because she's kind of
right.
She's a cuteness to her that's just really hard to make her look evil. I don't know.
But if you notice, there are, besides Idris Elba and Jared Leto, there are no major stars that you know who they are by knowing their name immediately.
Yeah,
it's true.
I mean, Alison Brie's big. I would say she's big.
She's big.
She's probably big. I would say she's bigger than He-Man or definitely Tila and the others, because I mean, wasn't Ram Man and oh God, I forgot her name. The one that bullies you in school.
I kept thinking Fisto looked a lot like Ewan McGregor in the Phantom Menace. Like he had the hair.
Fisto is from.
Kept reminding me of that.
He was
Game of
actually
Thrones, or-
in a Marvel movie not too long ago. He's a small character in it. He
He's
was
in the
in
Viking
Captain
show.
America.
That was a
He-
Viking show.
He was also in Vikings Valhalla.
Yeah.
But he was in the last Captain America movie.
Oh,
Where,
okay.
Cap is fighting
Really done well?
one of the guys when they go to the monastery or something at the very beginning.
He
Chip
was
Dog.
great. I mean, he was perfect, but who cares? I mean, it's like that point.
But the other ones, they were stunt doubles. Ram Man was
Diana
a stunt double, or
says,
was a
"Oh,
stunt
Diana."
man, and so was the
More
girl
Battle
that
Cat,
bullied him
agreed.
in school. That is from the she's actually from the comic book. She was
Yeah.
never in the
That's the person I know
cartoon.
least about. I have no idea about.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't really know her
Right,
either.
right.
More Battle
I
Cat.
can't-
Yeah, more Battle Cat. The fact that Battle Cat didn't get to be Battle Cat until the last shot.
Right.
I think
spoiler.
that
I guess we're
worked.
spoiler
I-
territory, but,
It was
I
great though.
liked-
because
I
I hope
thought that
I hope
worked
to see more
perfectly.
later.
Did you? Yeah, but we're not. If we get another, but
Right.
Right.
overall cast was good. Whatever you think about He-Man himself? Anybody want to? What are your thoughts on He-Man? Victor.
Well, I'm always afraid to sing anything about Nick because people get so weirded out about his size. He looked great. He-Man is not a 30-year-old. He's not Reacher. He's not. I liked his look. I think
Yeah.
the airheadness was a little weird at first, but when Adam was Adam, he was much more of an airhead. When he was actually He-Man, he had elevated a little
Yeah.
bit. So that was kind of nice. But whenever he went back to Adam, he was still a bit of a flighty kind of guy.
Yeah.
All I
I
say
didn't
is
think he might-
he must have been found by the Kents because somehow he went from being 10 years old
Yeah.
to 25-year-olds on his own,
Right.
We didn't
saying
see
to be
it.
the
Yeah, it's so
nicest
weird.
guy in the
No
world.
explanation to yeah.
I
Yes.
don't mind a no explanation, but when I started thinking about it, I was like, wait, a 10-year-old kid on his own, trapped in another world that he doesn't know, this kid's going to grow up to be Skeletor.
Right.
But
Right.
then he grows up to be an HR rep.
They bucked
I
the
think-
system. Speaking of HR, that HR boss of his, she was annoying as hell, but it was funny because
Really
she
good
was.
at it, yeah.
I live in corporate America, so I'm like, oh my god, I know that person, and it's horrifying.
Right.
Well,
Right. Well, that's-
they were setting
Yeah.
up that great moment towards the end where Skeletor
Yes.
does
Oh
certain
my
things,
gosh.
and just to get to a Office
Normal man.
Space joke.
Oh my! I love.
Oh,
that
yeah,
so
yeah.
much.
I mean, it was fun. I could have done without it, but it is what we got, and it was fun, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even date
I
night
think-
Skeletor, that was awesome.
Would I
too.
love to
Date night.
see a really serious, dark Masters of the Universe movie? Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, me
but they're
too.
not going to put that in a theater
Right.
I don't know why they wouldn't, though. I mean, they
because
you know.
again, that's not the franchise kids want. That's not the story. That's not.
It
the
doesn't
stuff.
sell toys.
Okay,
doesn't
let me
sell-
argue. Let me
right.
argue why I think that argument doesn't.
You can
hold
think
up.
I'm wrong. That's fine.
No, they don't know what kids want. They have
Right.
Oh.
no clue.
But
'Cause
they
kids
know
don't
they're
know
putting
what
out
they want.
back rooms.
But no
Dude.
one knows what they want because they
No.
are everything in the past 5 years has flopped.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
The
but,
only
but,
things
I mean,
that have succeeded in the past.
They
every
also
big
everything's a
IP
flash in the
movie-
pan for them. Something's
Right.
popular, and tomorrow
Right.
it's not.
That's
every
But here's the-
IP in the past 5 years, big IP that's come out has been a flop. Right?
But see,
So,
Gen Z and
you don't
Gen
know.
Alpha, Gen Z and Gen Alpha love the '80s stuff. Because of Stranger Things and things like that, where that
They
nostalgia.
love it,
but
or
they love it, but they don't have that nostalgia for it.
None of the stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also love to
Aren't
hate.
going
it.
to a movie.
Mm.
They hate the nostalgia stuff, but they love the '80s. So when they're anything that has a nostalgia feel to their parents or to that older generation, they want to rebel against it because we like the '80s, but we like our '80s. We don't like the nostalgia
Their
feel
version
that you
of
get
it.
with it.
Yeah,
Right.
goofy.
how they remember
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
Right.
How they think it is.
The thing is, if you make a great movie, you can make a great movie, and
can.
they're
It should
not
be
even
that way.
they're not even considering that.
Right.
That's
Well,
never on
Carl's
the
right.
table for
Barbie
them.
was a success, and yes, Barbie was a success.
But Barbie
But
had its problems.
Despite the
Barbie
the
was a
campiness.
success because they hired a brilliant, and even if you hated the movie, you can't argue that she is a brilliant writer who.
Oh.
and here's the inarguable why the success of that movie was her writing almost entirely.
Right.
Completely.
Margot Robbie.
And you could hate on the movie because you didn't like the message of the movie, and I get that. I did not enjoy the movie, but that movie, that is a 1 in a million shot with that movie, because they took a director who had a very singular vision, and they allowed them to do exactly what they want, and it paid off.
Right.
Now they could do that with another 10 directors and it wouldn't pay off, and it'd be a complete flop.
Right.
And they would be like, begging for more, but it can pay off. They're not trying to do that with these movies. This is why they flop. They're trying to do the most corporate, room of people telling them
focus groups.
But think about it. The people that are
focus groups think is going to make them money.
Yes.
But think about this also. The people that are in those boardrooms now are our age. They're the people that are running those companies are mostly our age.
But they don't care.
They
about
grew up with all this.
Yeah.
They have that nostalgia for this.
That doesn't help anybody in making a hit.
No. Well, but here's a good example of
hurts you.
Studios always get involved. They always think that they know best of what's going to make a good movie. That's why we got the Green Lantern movie we got, was because Warner Brothers said, this is what you got to do. We don't like this. They step in, they take over things. They want things a certain way. They say, if you're going to make a Masters of the Universe movie, don't do what they did in 1987, because people hated that movie. So do something that makes fans feel safe. This is safe. This is Star Wars: the Rise of the seventh one. God, I just
a lot better than that. A lot better than that.
The Force Awakens. It's a safe movie for that fan. You
the problem is the fan isn't there. They're making you're thinking about like a He-Man audience is probably 100,000 people, right? Maybe a couple 100,000 people who are like, I'm going to the theater, I'm going to see that, and you need probably 500,000 people to make the money you need to make back to make it a profit. So you
can't rely on us to bring our kids and our grandkids.
100%. That's the right analogies. We aren't numbers. We aren't the numbers.
Well, a lot of it, the other thing is they're and another thing because a lot of people are like, why didn't this work? It was such a good movie. I've heard a lot of that. And I'm like, well, I don't think anybody should have thought this was going to work. I don't think I never thought this was going to work. And not because it's not good, because it's just like, again, the audience isn't there, and people right now, just the movies aren't really working. They're not except for these little movie, horror movies. Yeah, horror movies work really well.
The Project Hail Mary was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, and a movie that everybody thinks is great, like a literally great movie that has great word of mouth and everybody's excited about. Yeah, but all of the tricks they used to know. Like movie stars, nobody cares. No one cares.
Right. You're not going to put Tom Cruise in a movie just to put Tom Cruise in a movie.
Right. IP from 40 years ago, no one gives a shit.
You don't get the numbers for that.
No, they don't care. And so they're just trying to make a movie. I don't know. They really feel like they don't have any idea what they're doing at all. But anyway,
no, I feel like they haven't for a very long time.
I would agree.
It's almost like every once in a while they roll the dice on something that happens to be good, right? Something like a well-written movie gets in the hands of somebody, and they're like, "Oh, but look, this will trend with the focus groups," and then it does, and it just so happens to be something good. Like I know I've seen a good movie recently, but I'm hard pressed to think about it. I mean, I feel like. I'm trying to think the last time there was a new movie that was out and I was like, this is good. The first one that pops to mind is The Killer. That was on Netflix with Michael Fassbender. I know that's good. 2 years old, but it was an excellent movie. Now, again, if I had the list in front of me, I'd probably be able to pluck a few off. But
read the comic book. It's better, but that was a good movie.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was on another medium, but yeah, I think that's it in general. Just as we're kind of going back and forth from different angles of it, that they're like, when Mark, you were saying you were like, they don't know what kids want, and I think that's because kids don't know what they want. With that, the juggling. First of all, the nature of kids. One day they like bananas, the next day they fucking don't. Right. So trying to kind of capture that, I don't know, in a way that makes them collect toys and stay focused on a show or a movie, right? I think you're asking a lot of mental commitment for that. I mean, maybe, I don't know. It just it's
There's so many factors here. When we were kids, we liked something for a very long time. Think back at your favorite brands, right? You liked them for a while, but they don't anymore. Plus, you're right. Corporate boardrooms are making it for like, what about this? They're not making it for the true viewer. People aren't going to theaters. I wish they would. When they're in a theater, they're on their phone. And yes, Project Hail Mary went to the theater and it was exceptional and it made lots of money. And that's a successful movie based on a book. That's pretty cool. And that's rare to find.
Right. Listen, especially it's hard to make movies out of books. That's why I always thought that movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Terry Gilliam directed that.
Yeah.
That's why I said that's like my favorite movie, because I've read that book. I'm a giant Hunter S. Thompson fan. I've read that book so many times. It's incredibly hard to make into a movie, and he does. Like there's stuff he has on the walls that are like in reference to paragraphs in the book and stuff like that. Like it's a fantastic job. So it's rare to find something, that's going to be true to that. But kicking it back to the boardrooms and the focus groups. It's
trying to read all these comments as they go by, just rushing by. A lot of them are saying the same thing about IPs. It's old. It's not theirs. It's something that does, like you said, Mark, not have the numbers. I'm not going to harp on the G.I. Joe movies, but they stank, and I was excited for them. And I wanted to go. I wanted to love them, and there were my favorite characters, and it was god-awful, both. And so this is just an example of why I went in going, I don't know how this could work, but it was still the quality. I'll go to my death. This was a quality film.
Right.
But see,
there's a 2002 animated series would have been great. That is a great series. If you did that, it's very serious. It's very good. And then there's also this comment about James Gunn. They had James Gunn do Guardians. Of course, now a lot of people complain about James Gunn, although I still tend to like him. I didn't like his Superman movie, but I did like. But yeah, like if you think about it, Guardians of the Galaxy was a nowhere comic. Like, it was not a big comic.
Nope.
It was not huge.
Right.
He reinvented it when he made the movie because he made a really good movie and it became huge. So you can do it with an idea if the idea is good and makes a good movie, but you almost have to disregard the audience and almost pretend there isn't one.
True.
Guardians of the Galaxy was
corporate guys. And
Guardians of the Galaxy was a test for Marvel Studios, because they had two CGI characters that are talking. You have to make a tree believable, and people fall in love with a raccoon that's an asshole.
Yeah.
This was a test for Marvel to see if they could get away with doing some of the stuff especially with the X-Men, that they, to do some of these storylines that, that they've been telling. They didn't know if they could do this until Guardians was a success. James Gunn is great at doing ensemble pieces that are action and have humor in them, and does a brilliant job of incorporating the music with it. And if you notice, most of the movies nowadays have taken that formula from Guardians, and the music, it's not just a score anymore that's important. It's what songs are you putting in there? What songs are going to make it, putting that Queen song in this, it was great. The only problem I
got so much joy.
The only thing that I wish they would have done, because here we are, they say we're the princes of the universe. They never say they are the masters of the universe, but they call them the heroes of Eternos. Why couldn't you have called them the masters of the universe? Or Adam say, well, you guys, may think of yourselves as the heroes of Eternos. I think of you as the masters of the universe. If he would have said that,
they hadn't earned it.
Oh, if he had said at the end when he said he had He-Man, he called them all.
He could have.
But I mean, you could still have
not
the He-Man
they
thing.
call themselves often though. It's not. And some of the animation series, like there was I think it was the 2002 that really calls them that. Like it wasn't in the original, and I think calling yourself the masters of the universe, it's a little narcissistic.
It's the name of the movie.
It's kind of
if it's the name of the movie,
you don't have to say the name of the movie, and maybe they have to earn it.
You don't.
Maybe they have to earn it.
You don't. But see, if you do it where they earn it, if you do it at the end of it, after Tila says, "Well, what'd you call yourself?"
Right.
He says He-Man, and then they say, "Well, what did you call us?" And he says, "Well, you're the masters of the universe." You end it there.
It would have been nice.
That would have been fun. Diana says that in terms of the fandom, there's a difference between Motu and He-Man. One embraces the camp more than the other. Like with only comic Joe fans, me, well, not really only comic, but I prefer the comic versus who loved the cartoon. Yeah, and that's why when it went into the movie, it didn't bother. I was like, I would have preferred the more serious one, but I was like, I get why they did this because the Filmation sort of takes over. But if they do it to G.I. Joe, I'll be pissed. I never want to see a campy G.I. Joe. Maybe it's a cartoon, but I never want to see a campy G.I. Joe movie. That sounds awful.
No, that'd be horrible.
Like,
Netflix has, they had a serious one with the Kevin Smith. The 2002 serious one. Then they had the Kevin Smith one, which was kind of too serious, but he was also kind of pulled off of the original cartoon. Right. But then they also have that more of that kids one that is really cheesy. It's really campy, and it's drawn in a more campish, outlandish, style.
I never saw it. I hated the style. I looked.
I couldn't watch it.
Right.
There's actually
it has that dated
a couple
3D
really good story
animation.
arcs in it.
I'm sure it does. A lot of story arcs are nowadays very important, and that's what I liked about Idris Elba in this movie. That was a great story arc. They took one-dimensional characters from He-Man who didn't usually have an arc, and they gave him kind of that failed father figure. So I loved that. That was nice.
They really leaned into him being a full-blown alcoholic.
Totally. And I love they didn't shy away. And I thought that's great. That makes it more real.
You're talking about the person that was in charge of the royal military that feels he failed the king because he did not have his, because of what happens.
It was shit together.
Well, nothing for nothing. They really just came right in and took the shit over. There was no plan. It was kind of.
And
he did fail.
You're right. Where else are you going to be? I know this is going to sound Luke Skywalker. Everybody hates from Last Jedi, but where else are you going to go when you almost when everybody that you're training dies and you almost kill your nephew? Where else? What else are you going to do with yourself? You're going to take yourself out of the universe. You're going to become this distraught hermit, which is basically what Duncan is at this point. Luke's not a drunk, but
I think stuff like that is cool when they do it in kids' movies because there could be a kid watching it that goes like that has an alcoholic father, and maybe there's some kind of if or for only the reason the kid says, "Oh, I'm not alone." Like this happens to other people, like
that's why I'm taking my kids.
Right. There's that show Big City Greens, right, where the father lost the farm. They had to move in with his mother in the city. The mom is literally in jail. I do. I love that show. I think it's great. That one and Gravity Falls. Those are
Gravity Falls is genius, by the way.
Gravity Falls. There's a sequel coming to it.
Really?
Something with either it's a sequel or something within that same vein of Gravity Falls is coming to Disney.
I bought the books. You know how they had the journals. I bought all the journals and shit. Yeah,
I got that and Adventure Time.
Nice.
In the chat, they're talking about how do you address like snouts.
Please, Snout Spa. The stupidest kid. Snout Spa was a stupid kid. I hated Snout Spa.
But
the new Masterverse one's incredible. He's a fireman.
They mentioned the Zodiacs, but there is a reference to Zodiac.
Zodiac should have been in there.
There is they make a mention of him.
Oh yeah,
but that's his name.
All right. Let me talk. Since we're talking about the Idris Elba's like arc here, I want to talk about the dumbest conversation that people are having about this. Whoops.
Yes.
That one is that.
They just shut me up. They're like, no, stop. It's too stupid. Don't talk about it. I don't know if you're even aware of this because I don't know how online obsessed you people are, but there's a lot of talk that. Because I guess the writers came out and said this is a movie about toxic masculinity, and then
I heard that
which I don't see at all anywhere in this movie at all.
There's some references in the way the HR stuff is in it. There's some things.
So then like some of the conversations are you have certain people. There's a guy, I don't know if you saw, there was a guy who like totally lost his shit and flipped out about it. He was like, it's woke. It's like, and there was other people who were, and there's other people. A lot of people are pushing back and going, no, it's not about. It's about like, and it did seem like they were trying to do an interesting like take that was actually, I think, very pro masculinity.
Right.
They were trying to do like a very like because you have on one hand you have like the society wanting men not to be men at all, or some people would say that, and then you have this toxic masculinity on the other side. And so a lot of people feared this was going to be a movie about toxic masculinity because it was said by some of the creators. But then you end up seeing the movie and you're like, no, they're actually arguing like for like a cool, like in between kind of like positive.
Just gonna say it's the more of the modern, what the ideal modern man should be is where they can still be strong and be macho and wear a loincloth, or in this case, a leather strapped, tights, and still be able to not necessarily want to use his fist to solve the problem, but let's talk it through like reasonable people.
Yeah.
And then when talking doesn't work, you use your fist, and that's what happened.
Right.
But see, that's kind of the other thing is if it goes too far, you still have to be able to defend yourself.
Yeah.
You do.
But that's not going. It's not going to be all that this person is just a sword and fists and muscles. There's more to it.
I thought you hit it on the head there, both of you, because I heard that rumor. I was like, I don't get it. I haven't seen that in the trailers, haven't seen it in the snippets. I go to the movie. I don't see any of the woke nonsense. I don't see anything that's like bad for being masculine. And at the very end, when he names himself, he says He-Man. And they go, He-Man, why?
Yeah.
And he says, because it's masculine. He says it, physically says it because it seems very masculine. They don't really insult. They kind of just agree. There's no argument about being stupid. And I loved it. And yes, he did go to Skeletor and say, listen, you're through and we can talk about this. And then when that didn't happen, he beat the hell out of him. And I love that fight scene.
And the whole thing with his name tag of saying he, him was not trying to be woke. It was a joke on the name He-Man.
It was making fun of it. Yeah.
Right. It allows you to make fun of it and not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
I think this way or pro that way.
I think all these comments, these negative comments, are basically all coming from people who are going to get mad at everything, right? There's those people who just, it doesn't matter what it is you put in front of them, they're going to find something to be like, yeah, and fuck that thing too. It's nonsense.
Okay, a lot of people are loving this movie, I think. It's a fun, I don't know. So that was one. Now, if I was to pick it apart, I would say there's a bunch of things that I don't like about the movie. Oh, a couple of things. One is like that theme is there. The other thing is like people saying it's about toxic masculinity. There's no real, like Skeletor is not toxically masculine in that. He doesn't. Right. It's like he's not even close. If anything, he's like, I don't know. He's kind of bitchy.
The villain.
You know what I mean? Like he doesn't really. He doesn't seem like he's like an over the top. But the other thing of that, and I think movies are always doing this nowadays. They have to spell the theme out like you're a child and just talk you through it. Right. Like the reality is, if he just did what he was gonna do, he took the action, we would have felt it. It would have been there. He didn't have to have these lengthy conversations spelling it out. Like,
have you guys read articles about that now, though? Because of how many young people are on their phone while they watch a movie, it's actually written in for characters to repeat a premise to help.
That's
because
hilarious.
We used to get it. We used to see it happening in the movie. It was subtle, and it was like, but no, now they have to go, hold on while I tell you again about what we're doing.
Well, it's unfortunately the attention span of this newer generation is like 30 seconds, and they don't pay attention to so much that's going on around them that you have to repeat over and over. Yeah. I mean, I know that our parents used to tell us, things 100 times and we'd still do it,
Yeah.
I mean, we had to be told not to play with fire forever,
Yeah.
As long
as they're lighting matches.
My kids, I'm keeping all the technology out of their hands. They don't have anything, and they still even it's the lifestyle, even like in general the stuff. That's why you can't like when you watch like YouTube for kids, terrible. Like it's all these quick videos of any idiot out there acting like total idiots, and
it drives me nuts to walk around Disneyland and see little kids, toddlers. Yeah. On their phones, looking down instead of looking
up. How can you be
up.
more entertained than at Disneyland?
Right. It's just like, so, which this all explains why this movie is not generating the box office numbers that you would expect with a quote unquote summer blockbuster.
I wouldn't expect.
I honestly think this movie should have been released in August, though.
I could have told them this movie would have flopped. I could have saved them $200 million. Like,
right.
There's
Right.
no way.
No,
This
because
is-
I wouldn't have got it. Shut up, Mark.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
100%.
Mortal Kombat 2 was just out in theaters. No one is talking about if that's a flop or not.
I know.
No one talked about,
Yeah.
no one talked about it
Isn't
at all.
that funny? It was so barely talked about.
Was it
And
a
it's, you know,
flop?
it's already where you can
Yeah.
rent it on Amazon Prime or Apple.
Hmm.
It's within a month and a half, which is kind of another problem with this.
Well, what are other movies doing? I mean,
Wait.
are even movies that are successful staying longer than a month?
The horror movies
I don't
are
The
just
horror
killing it.
movies are
I
they're
think.
ones, you know, I think Mandalorian's up to 300 million now or something. I mean, I know it's
Okay.
made back its money.
Oh, it
but-
has? I thought that was a complete flop.
Opening wise, I think,
Yeah,
but
people say flop on opening weekend now because that's just
Oh.
oh,
Well, a
it's
lot of
your
times you have to remember
predecessor
a movie has to
doesn't-
make back twice its budget. in
right,
order
but
to-
they have to
Right.
make it in the first weekend or else you're a flop. So they.
But the other thing is, you know, all these sequels now have to be as big or bigger than the original. You know,
Hmm.
if Spider-Man that's coming out in July doesn't do at least $1 billion, people are going to call it a flop because the last two movies did $1 billion.
Yeah.
But
So
you know, you can't. ahead.
Mandalorian and Grogu has matched their $165 million production budget and has earned $315
That's
million.
pretty good. That's something.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So during the prison
Oh,
breakout, the heroes all
lingering.
started coughing. Do you think there's any chance it's Stinkor sequence? Yeah, that was a joke that I could have done without that.
That was a joke. That was
Right.
you know,
Right.
if you would have put Stinkor in there, the joke would have worked.
It would have
But
been good. Yeah.
The fact that it was because the dust built up when they knocked over the cell. eh,
Stupid.
I'll tell you another problem I have with this movie. Okay, here's a problem. 'Cause I nitpick now that I say I did enjoy the movie again. Here's what I'm going to nitpick. There's no strategy in any of the fighting or any of the like normal any movie, right? You'd go, all right, we got to sneak into Snake Mountain.
Right.
We gotta like knock over Skeleton Soldier, put his mask on. I know it's been done a million times. We gotta find a way through the underground, or we gotta do something. In this movie, it's like, all right, here's how I'm gonna fight. He's gonna open the door, and then I'm gonna walk through, and then I'm gonna fight everybody, and I'm just gonna win because I'm the
Works for
best.
me.
Right. No, that's it.
It worked
That's
for
it.
Conan. It worked for Conan.
They
I'm
went with the
stuck
simplest
in a
way.
jail. How
Conan, it worked
We're just
perfectly.
gonna all work together and push our way through.
Look, I don't understand the whole jail scene anyway, because Tila got back and they're like, Tila, you should have been on patrol. Let's throw you in a jail cell. I will never know what just the hell happened there.
Right.
That was
That
one
was-
of the things that people were
Yes.
talking about in the comments.
I was like,
I
what?
agree.
I have
That
no
when they
idea.
went into jail, I was like, wait, why? Now, if Duncan was in the jail, I understand.
Yeah, but
You
I
know,
didn't
and
get
Tila
it.
comes
I
up
totally
and says,
didn't
open
get
the
it.
door, let him out. I get it.
That was a plot hole. I was like, I don't know what happened.
It was one of those things where it's like, I'm going to let it go because I'm enjoying what I'm watching.
That's
Yeah.
one of the moments that I was struggling to keep my head up, so I didn't see how egregious that was. But yeah, no, for sure, it definitely. When I kind of saw them, he was trying to convince the robot to like rip the door open and fight.
Right.
And that's I kind of was like, wait, how the fuck are they in jail?
I wondered why they were locked in. I don't know.
Yep, sure enough.
They
Yeah, they
lock
were.
them and they're not smart, which is fine. They're not smart. I get it. The other
Yeah.
thing is and this is another thing I always hate. Movies do this all the time. You get to the big bad and you're like, I won't kill you. I won't heart. Let's talk it out. It's like I appreciate that, like the thought process. But 5 minutes before, he's ripped off Goatman's horn. He shoved it in his throat.
Yeah.
and he's kicked him off the mountain. And they always do that. It's like for even in the I think of Batman v Superman. Like Batman's like about to kill Superman, and he's got Martha. He's got Martha, mom's name. And it's
Oh
like,
my God,
he
the Martha
literally
Martha
just
was just too
murdered
much.
like 75 people
Yeah.
who he knew nothing about. All of them could have had mom's name Martha for all he knows. Every single one of them he just murdered, and they're probably just guys who honestly just took a job. Like, would you guard this for me
Right.
for like 5 minutes? I'll give you a machine gun, hold it. The guy's probably got a family at home.
We'll
Batman
be home by
comes in.
midnight.
Robot
they
Chicken did a
always
Robot
do this
Chicken did a
shit.
skit one time where they were talking about those guys. That man, I just took this job, man. It's like the stormtroopers that I needed a job, man. My family was hungry. Well, I've got to take this job. This is the only thing that was offered to me. Oh shit! Wait, this guy with superpowers is coming at me? No.
Right.
Yeah, poor goat man. Might have a little goat baby and a goat wife, and he's dead. Skeletor's a demon from another dimension. Just kill him. Who cares? You know what I mean?
I thought at first when they said Merman wasn't going to be in it, I thought, well, you put Goatman. You could have just switched those characters.
Right.
But then
No,
after
Goatman can be killed.
But then after Goatman dies, it's like, okay.
That Goatman costume was sick, dude.
It was good.
Did you see him? Did you see the actor like pull?
I saw him. He pulled it off.
It off, and so he stretches it completely out. With
that
his
is
arm.
so good. Those prosthetics.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So there's a few little things that could have done without in the movie.
There's some hiccups, but yes.
Sure.
But overall, it was fun. Do you think we're going to get a sequel?
Yes.
I do.
Okay, here's the thing. We'll get a sequel. I don't know if it'll go to theaters.
It will not go to theaters.
No, I don't think it will either.
Right.
I think it'll go straight to Prime.
Put it back on Amazon, great.
It should, honestly, if it had gone on just Amazon, it might have already made its money back for them. Because I think they would have said this was the most viewed thing in the past. You think about all these TV shows, like they put the Acolyte on. That was a $230 million show.
Yeah, I would have missed it on the big screen.
Yeah, I know.
So you're right. You're right, though. You're right.
No Idris though, because you can't get Idris. Idris is too big for.
I was gonna say in the sequel he'll be replaced.
Yeah, Jared Leto is not coming back.
I don't know because Jared Leto, he said that he loves
his
character, and
he did
really. He loved playing this character, and it's basically him in you get him in a voiceover booth.
Right.
You don't need him in the
costume. He was on set, by the way, walking around because you did see pictures.
Jared Leto is a very meta actor.
Yeah, I mean, he covered his face with blood.
Yeah,
so that when they were acting across from him, it would be disturbing.
I think when he played the Joker, he sent his castmates like a box that had like a dead rat and some other shit.
God, I would have the
fully submersed into the thing. Look, listen, if you're pumping out shit like performances like Jack Nicholson or maybe Daniel Day-Lewis, maybe you get away with that shit. Otherwise, you're just a creep.
Yeah,
100%.
That is a very true story. Leto is very very meta when it comes to.
I'd hate him on set. I'd punch him in the face.
He's a total method actor.
Right.
I think it actually makes sense for this movie, the blood in your face, because you're walking around. You're supposed to have a skeleton. It's supposed to look scary. You're not scary.
Not too bad.
He's not a scary looking dude. And then, but yeah, the Joker shit is just like that's psychotic behavior.
It should be locked the fuck up.
Yeah,
he didn't have the true Skeletor high pitched voice, but he did have a good take on it, where it was, he gave you a little bit of that, but still made it more menacing than what that,
and he said boob.
So. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
So you said, go ahead.
No, just the one joke that popped in my head when Skeletor melted Moss Man and he goes, "Look, I made mulch." I thought that was killer.
Dude, I got Moss Man so dirty. Moss Man's like one of my favorites.
I was surprised.
That is a total Easter egg because in the Kevin Smith one, he's immediately killed when you first see him.
Yeah. Oh, no shit.
He gets burned. So that is a complete nod.
That was
to
right
Kevin
from
Smith
there.
ones.
They're like, and kill him.
Moss Man was awesome. He was an awesome.
Moss
Man's one of my favorites.
I hate Moss Man when Moss Man and Stinkor came out.
They
were the coolest kid. They were the coolest ones on the show for a while. Stinkor was so cool. He smelled so god awful, and Moss Man smelled so good that when you put them up,
Pine Sol.
Yeah, he was. It was Pine Sol.
I hear that still smell.
You hung him in your car,
right, and be your little air freshener.
Right.
What I hear is though, if you have a Moss Man in hand, it still will smell like 40
I've
years
heard that.
later because it's embedded in the actual plastic.
Yeah,
my buddy has one. My buddy has one. It's true.
Now, to me, Moss Man is one of those things that had they gone the mythic route, he could have been the coolest character.
Well, the 2002 cartoon did that.
Made him the coolest character, didn't they?
Yes.
And he was he was more like a Zodiac type character, where he was more mystic. He was more with the Earth or with the Eternia.
Yeah.
And what it felt, he felt, and all this stuff. It was great. It was such a good take. This one, he doesn't speak at all. He's like Chewbacca standing there or Wookiee standing there doing nothing. And then you kill him. You just kill him. I was like, no, it's like killing Groot.
All right.
I want to get a Moss Man just to smell him
just
right
to
now.
smell.
That's just my goal.
You brought up
Your carded
sequels.
King Cal says my Moss Man
I'm
still
getting
favors
high
it.
on Moss Man.
Wait a minute, Cal. Yours is it's out of the pack. You have one out of the package. That's our carded king. He has everything you could imagine on card still.
I'm just gonna walk around sniffing Moss Man all day, just like
Huffing.
stick in one hand.
I
Moss
want
Man
that
in the other.
scent. Give it.
Oh,
You know what?
does he think?
Screw giving me a Mandalorian candle at Bath and Body or Bed Bath and Beyond or whatever it is. Give me the Moss Man. You know.
Right. Moss
All
Man
right.
is definitely. Who was the dude with the suction cup face? The lizard.
Leech.
Yeah.
Leech. But he's
Yeah.
part of the Horde. He's part of
Yeah.
Hordak's team.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
be
the
glad I
Horde.
sequel.
Let's talk about the sequels, because when we talk about sequel possibilities, we have to do the mid-roll credits, because I mean, when I saw the Fright Zone in the background, I got so excited. When the Fright Zone was depicted so beautifully, and then her standing there, I was like, this would be awesome.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Gorgeous.
And who are you gonna
That
get? You can
technically
get
got
I hope
spoiled
it's somebody
for me.
else for sure, because the model doesn't look right.
That got spoiled for me because the model is coming. Either the new Mattel one was coming out. I think Mattel Creations is doing one where or they're doing the slime pit. And,
Yep.
And she the actress the stunt model for her posted it on her Instagram
Right.
the day of the movie coming out.
Oh damn, she's fired. She's not getting.
She
a job.
immediately had it taken down. There's a reason why they don't show her face, because that's not who's going to play it.
No, it's going to be like somebody huge.
Yeah.
Well,
you're going to
it
get like
goes
Anna
straight to
Taylor-Joy or
Amazon, we'll
somebody.
see.
Not huge. Well, actually, though, you think about it, some of the Amazon movies have gotten like fairly large actors.
Don't get a good name, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like
Probably
Gal
not gonna
Gadot
be
for
Margot Robbie.
Wonder Woman?
Samara Weaving, if she's not too big by then, would be like a nail it out of the park cast.
Ooh, I like it.
You could do Anna Taylor-Joy.
Someone else said that too.
She's too
She's a
skinny.
good actress,
She
but I
doesn't
doubt you're
have
going to
good-
get somebody that's going to be that. If you're going to do the same type of movie where it's got the camp and the stuff like that, you're not going to get somebody like that to come to it.
Well, here's the thing.
You could
Think
get
about
so
this,
many
guy.
good
You may
actors.
not. The
That
sequel
wouldn't
may
be
not be as campy. The first one sets it up
Yeah.
Right.
with a lot more of this humor. The second one can have humor, but it tones it down. It's already said, I've told you where this comes from, but we're going to move it forward this way.
And that's what I
do that, and we would adopt it well, because it could have lower key. Because if she comes in and it's more of a team, I don't want it to be a story strictly on her. I'd like it to be, let's get these things together.
Well,
it
did
could
you
be
guys
more-
ever see
more-
Did you ever see the Netflix series for She-Ra?
Sadly, a couple episodes.
I did not watch it. No.
Okay, it got really good. It's
I heard a lot of people
very
love
well
that.
done.
Very
Really?
big.
It's more of a darker. It's taken a lot of the camp out of it. There's more story arcs, character arcs. Yes, there is some wokeness to it, so people are not, Bo and things like that. But it's more alluded to than actual in your face.
Well, I mean, no, you think about it, the wokeness is that it's very gay,
It's very gay.
very LGBTQT. Guess what?
EQ.
Have you seen Bo?
Oh,
He
totally.
was always gay.
Yeah.
It was always the gayest thing you've ever seen in your life, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
No,
It was
but
always gay. They
But,
just
you know,
called
I
it
think
out.
the show had they made him so young though. They made him all these high school prom goers, and I checked out.
I want to watch it. I haven't actually gotten around to it, but yeah, I don't know. I think the movie where she's originated is not a good movie. The Sword and the
Secret of the Sword, the
Secret of
anime.
the Sword,
Secret
right?
of the
It's
Sword.
really the first
Not
5
good.
episodes of She-Ra.
Right.
But see, and now you don't
plot
have to
is
do it.
great. If you
Yeah.
did that plot in a serious movie, He-Man goes to
Her planet to get her, right?
Syria, and that could gay is not negative. It's all good.
Oh no, I'm
Clear.
not saying.
I am not saying it's negative. I'm just saying
No.
it is very gay.
And-
She-Ra was always gay, and that's very cool. Fine
And
with
the
it.
She-Ra Netflix show, there
Like a
is
linebacker.
the Sheila the
Agreed.
She-Ra Netflix show. There is, I mean, it's more prevalent than it is in the original show.
And to tell you the truth,
yeah.
it has a huge fan base.
Oh,
And
yeah.
guess what?
A
One of the
huge
reasons
fan
why it has a huge fan base is because it leaned into that.
Yeah.
That's
But
what its
Mark,
audience
see-
wanted. If you don't like it, fine, but that's what the audience wanted. You know what I mean?
Mark,
So-
if you sit down and watch it with your daughter,
I kinda wanna
you're
watch it.
both going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm meaning to. It's on the list.
Because my daughter loved that show, and she couldn't care less about
for a
He-Man
younger
or She-Ra.
generation, and that's great. Like they're trying to get young viewers, and Netflix She-Ra did that really well.
Yeah,
and the He-Man, the Netflix thing. I watched the first one. I mean to watch the second one, and it was pretty fun. It just like I think it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because He-Man wasn't in it. And that was like a real hard. That was even. I will admit that's hard for me to get over. I was like, but getting over it was a fun show. Like,
here's the secret about that show. Even though it's not the same animation style, it's not the same campiness that it was in the original show. That is following the show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's technically in canon after the original show.
Correct.
Kevin Smith wrote it to be picking up where those designs, those things like that you have with the original, just But
I don't. It was a, it was fun.
But nothing was 2000.
The 2002 one's great. Yeah,
it was beautiful.
Just that look, incredible.
Who made the 2002? You guys have been talking about that. I don't think
it's like one of those things where it's just a show for kids. It was not, it's like
it was Cartoon Network, wasn't it? That
it was Cartoon Network. Mike Young Productions, and it was very deep dive into the lore. It developed everybody. Actually, gave them much more than names we never heard. Like Fisko's name is Malcolm, for God's sake.
Right on.
Grayskull.
Right on
Malcolm Fisko, or is it?
Now it did change Skeletor's origin quite a bit.
True.
We got some other votes for the Netflix She-Ra show. It was pretty good. Nice.
Yeah. So Amazon Prime has seasons 1 and 2 of the He-Man and Masters of the Universe from 2002. Was there more than two seasons, or is that the wrong?
No, it was getting ready for a third, and it set it up, but it didn't do it.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that out then.
It's really good.
That's what's up.
I had all the action figures.
Hordak is always most badass. Hordak is better than Skeletor. He's always been better.
See, to me, he wasn't like,
because he ain't got time for jokes. He wants blood.
But it wasn't like when G.I. Joe brought in Serpentor, where it was a replacement for the formal bad guy you had. This was like Skeletor on steroids.
Yeah.
This was like Skeletor was afraid of Hordak.
Yeah.
Right.
This is if you would have made Serpentor a god. Cobra Commander was still there in his role that he was, but now this other person that's coming is a god and can strike me down, and I'm scared of him.
Yeah.
I never got Cobra Commander was scared of Serpentor. I always thought that, and I think that was.
Speak me out again. What's going on?
I didn't want you to answer.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're coming in on 2 hours, so I guess let's. I don't know. Any last words anything you really want Diane to say about it? Otherwise, we'll wind down. And
the music was great.
Oh yeah, the music was really fun. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Bring your kids if you weren't already. I went by myself. Mostly because I asked the kids, I was like, listen, I picked them up after school and I was like, you could stay here with your mother or you're going to come see the movie. And I showed them a trailer and they were kind of on the fence. And now they love coming down here and taking pictures with me and stuff like that, but they don't really get super into it. They think like the Baroness is super badass and Lady J is awesome. And then like, actually they do like Gung Ho, the mint green Gung Ho. They think he is super cool. And they did like Serpentor. And there was something else, but like a lot of the green Joes, they love them for some reason. But so anyways, I think that if I had got them to go, I think they would have liked it because a lot of those jokes, I was picking up vibes from like that younger generation type jokes. There was little word here or a little word there that led me to. It's like, oh, I feel like I'm listening to my kids make jokes right now, and so.
Daddy, what's fisting mean?
Right. That would have been a tough one. He punches really hard. In the butthole.
But see, I love that they do that, and like they keep that innocence about them with those jokes. Like they let you know, okay, this is a dirty joke, but what I just diss people. It's just I don't know. It's cool. The music, though,
Brandon, we all agree it wasn't toxic masculinity. That's some bullshit that people made up. Yeah, nobody.
That's
engineered bullshit. Toxic masculinity in their head. Those are the people who saw that.
Right. Right.
But and the music, dude, Brian May coming back and doing all the guitar stuff for it. Anytime, I'm sorry, I'm a heavy metal guy. Anytime you put any strong guitar in anything, I'm there.
Yeah,
And to have Brian May do that, and then to have Queen's, the Princes of the Universe playing as they're doing their hero walk is so good.
What was Nowhere Man Child brings up the hey, what's going on? That was awesome.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah, well, see, and that was the other thing was they had the meme in there, which was cool. And then you also have the purple car out there with playing "I Have the Power."
Yeah.
I was like,
oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And put those two right next to each other is like, okay, we get the joke, but listen here. Here we go. Here's the power.
Kids have the internet. They know exactly what fisting is.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Something else that I thought, I actually thought Mechaneck looked pretty damn cool.
Yeah, he's always one of my least favorites. I
always loved Mechaneck.
Did you Mechaneck?
I don't know why they picked him for the movie. I wish it would have been someone else.
But the way they did
it, dies first in every battle.
Part of the eye part of his mask, I thought was
really
and whipping his shit around like a dildo.
He was that neck of his was like, whoa. That was like the boy's character that they had.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, here, let me expose my most vulnerable spot.
Here's my jugular. I'll bring it
so you can cut it off.
That's the joke.
I'll make it bigger so you can see it.
I think next to Mechaneck, I think Too Bad was my next favorite.
Too Bad was great. Yeah, he could.
And I want him so bad at it, but he can punch himself. They punch each other.
Any other thoughts?
The HR lady was funny. She was an SNL alum. But she did kind of weigh down a little bit. Daryl, having him afraid because he's looking up swords was funny, but kind of like, And his room, and Adam's roommate was kind of another. I know you have to have these inept characters in these things, but there's no real need to have it in there at all.
I hated that character. I also hated the flashbacks into the world where he was like
those.
Did you really?
Did you?
So inventive.
I hated those.
Oh, that was
I
creative.
thought because you had established Adam on Earth in this certain world, and then Skeletor using a power we never knew he had to go into his mind and manipulate him and take Adam back to where he's feeling the most safe.
That's what was so phenomenal, so much deeper, and it was great. Especially again, there was HR, there was Jim Bro, and there was Date Night Skeletor, and I was pissing my pants.
But the HR was the Office. It was Office Space.
Well, I think they did what they were trying to do well. I have to agree with Mark and say that I didn't.
I agree with you.
I think you guys weren't in on it. Oh, so
I was in on it. I get it.
The Dolph Lundgren stuff was good. I think it was a little long.
I'm glad it was short enough.
They could have made it even shorter. But I love Dolph Lundgren.
Right, but they could have made it shorter.
That was fine. Yeah.
And for him to walk off and give the line from the
little Easter egg from the '87 movie.
Right.
I thought
that movie more than most people too. I think that '87 movie is okay. I
just tried to watch it and it was impossible.
It's so embarrassing for me. I really get embarrassed for them.
Amazon Prime keeps trying to get me to watch it. If you're on Apple TV or something, it brings up these are the recommended shows. One you've started watching and you left off, and there's another one that we think you'll like. Master of the Universe is always there.
Nice.
I'm just waiting for them to put Super Mario Brothers there with it. I'm like, okay, here we go. We're going to do a complete trash night.
Oh, God.
All right, Mark, I'm going to have to go.
Oh, yeah, let's call it let's call it a night anyway. So you got going on your channel you want to throw in?
I've got a really nice, speaking of this kind of stuff, last week I did this great G-rated movies that would never be G today. It was a great video if you want to go over to the Gen XPerience. But this week I've got absurd 1970s toys. So come see some absurd 1970s toys. Comes out Thursday night. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. All right. Anything going on?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say there's somebody that asked about Orko, if we're going to talk about Orko.
Oh, yeah.
Orko, you got to save to the end. So go watch the movie and you'll know what I mean.
I left right as it was you know what? I knew I should have stuck around.
You had to stick around. It was 3. There was 3 post credits.
Hopefully I can find them online. Fuck.
Yeah, you'll be able. They're all over YouTube now.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been writing for Serpentor's Lair every Sunday. I've been putting up an article. This past week, I did one about Masters of the Universe. I've actually started a new book. It's called The Princes of Tortuga. It's about a pirate princess that goes in search of her father, who happens to be the king of the pirates. And if you know anything about pirate history, then you'll know where it's coming from. I do have more copies of Protocol G.I. Joe. I have some that I've just got in. So if anyone wants a signed copy, hit me up and we'll work something out. But yeah, I started working on a script and something else that I can't really talk about, but it's there.
Nice.
Well, Victor, you said you
all right, I'm good. All right. Good night, guys.
Night, Victor.
Very nice. And Destro, you got anything?
I am Destro Designs and Viper Den Studios. Make sure you follow Viper Den Studios too. That's where all my finished photography is, so you don't have to go scrolling through everything. And both of those accounts are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Threads. My YouTube is Destro Designs. You can find me Saturday nights. I do live from Viper Den Studios at 8 o'clock. This week we have Thano Karamalis coming on. He's from the Twitter community. He's got the most ridiculous collection you've ever seen, so this is going to be great. He also does customizing, like just handfuls of them all the time, and they're all really, really good. So that's going to be a good show. Don't miss that for sure. On Mondays, you can catch me here with Mark. Mark, thank you so much for always having me. Tonight was good, just like every other week. And Serpentor's Lair, Tuesday and Friday, I'm dropping articles over there. The one that I'm dropping tomorrow is about the Operation Dragonfire, the only remotely digestible part of the DIC offering is that only because they do so much cool shit. It still sucks, don't get me wrong, but there's parts to it that are worth mentioning. So I did a quick one on that. Make sure you're using my promo code Destro Designs over at sis3darsenal.com, Destro Designs 10 at Mo's Mind Custom Design, and that's a wrap.
All right. So what do I got going on? Working on the mythology of Operation Recall, which is very cool. 3 3/4 inch line that's created by the guys that created G.I. Joe. I spoke to Carson Metaxas about that.
Interview was great, by the way.
Thanks. And I should come out with that this week. And I'm also
Seth Green's involved with that, isn't he?
I don't think so.
No, I thought I saw there's something on one of the groups that he was signing something. I thought it was.
Oh, okay. And then I'm also working on the mythology of sectors.
Nice.
So those should come out this week, and then it's a bunch of videos on He-Man. But yeah, that's about it, I guess.
All right. Hector Ramirez video was very good also.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
I love that one too. Very fucking good, as always.
Great. All right. Well, I guess we'll call it a night then. I don't want to keep you too late. So
sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Right, cool.
Thanks for coming, y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Next week we'll probably be on talking about Yojo June, assuming anything happens Wednesday. If it was anything like last Wednesday, we'll be talking about something else.
Right.
That was a fucking nothing burger.
It was
and I don't know, how do you feel, even a half hour talking about it? But yeah, hopefully there'll be enough to talk about. So, all right.
There was nothing to talk about.
Yeah, it's that they said there was going to be more. They told us not to worry. So
I think it looks like there might be. So, all right.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Thanks.
All right, fellas.
Night.